just wait out the time, which still has 1:30 left.
Well, we could do that, but I like to be ahead of the game. So we're actually live pretty much now. In fact, it says we've been live for 10 seconds, which, yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Screw those guys that were there going, I'm not going to click over to this channel until exactly 8:30 and be exactly on time. No, you're late. Get wrecked, losers. Yeah. That's what I say.
All of the ones that you're talking about.
All one.
I refreshed your stream on YouTube. It's still saying that it's counting down.
Yeah, of course it is. It takes
never mind. It literally just went live.
It always takes a moment to ingest and then, go back out. Ingest and then digest? Would it then be excreting? I don't know.
I'm going to listen to the stream's audio, make sure that it sounds good on their end.
Good.
I seem to be a bit quiet on the stream.
You seem to be a bit quiet. Okay. Okay,
no,
right.
Never mind.
No?
And for some reason, it appears as though your voice quality has a lot of, not quite crackliness, but some level of background noise on it.
That would be the honking great fan that I've got going behind me. I will switch it off. Yeah, I'm using my
we
my.
Can't hear it over Discord.
Interesting. I wonder if it is due to the fact. Yes, it is. Let's just change over the headset and see if that works any better. Switch off the Yeti, because the Yeti does get a little bit well, it's shit, isn't it?
It seems as though it's fixed now, which is good.
Yep, cool. Good. I'll unplug the Yeti. That will make Die happy.
God damn it.
Okay, I have once again muted the stream on YouTube, so I'm not getting a double feed of everybody.
Oh no!
And we lost Coat, but he's back again quite promptly.
Wait, what? That wasn't me that left.
Wasn't it? I thought it was.
No, I saw someone else. I don't know who, but it just wasn't me.
Yeah. Odd.
Indeed. So, can anyone remember what happened last?
I can remember what happened last week.
Yeah?
Oddly.
Oh, good, because I can't.
We had a good old natter with Kata Otterboard. He was a dwarven chap that we met after we got off the boat. And he told us that we weren't allowed to sell our fish. And directed us to the Hogshead.
Yes.
We got advised where to register a charity. And did so as we were trying to sell that. We weren't selling the fish, we were giving it away and accepting charitable donations to support small folk from the Shire. We while we were cooking on the fish, our good friend Karga decided he was going to steal a light bulb from a street light. And then we headed off to the tavern and spent an extortionate amount of money on a very expensive drink, which caused synesthetic hallucinogenic effects and gave us the power to witness a whole new sound that you can both see and feel. We then popped into the local Thieves Guild to pay our respects to the local Don, and the Don's friend John agreed to arrange a concert venue for us and assist us with a little business venture. And I don't think we need to mention the racist dwarf throwing a rock at our filthy knife here, do we?
Only the important aspect of the story should be included in a recap.
I'm quite impressed, Kiki. You managed to remember that in quite significant detail from 2 weeks ago. Yet quite a lot of things you tend to just sort of forget, even though they were yesterday.
Got a really good memory.
I mean, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Yeah, quite right.
I remember everything that I write down in a notepad document called Ginge Game last week.
Speaking of, by the way, Kiki, if you are already in the habit of making notes of things, I request that you make said notes in the notes handout at the bottom of the journal. If you take a look at the far bottom, it should be just above Piper Billweed. Just a little orange rectangle labeled notes. Anybody has the ability to edit what's in there, and currently it makes reference to events from a previous campaign, which can be quite safely ignored and or erased.
Yes, it says boober.
Yes.
Is that all it says?
It says boober. Breast holds the golden nose of something. We are going there to get it, and some token of power for the rabbi. And you didn't. They just blew up the whole fucking town. And yes, hardwood to general stores. We're a bit delayed, but we'll bring something that will break the siege. They didn't. They got the whole fucking thing blown up because CD's a maniac.
This sounds familiar.
Yes.
As I say, irrelevant details from a previous campaign.
Will this be on the test later, Ginger?
I bloody well hope not.
Oh, thank God for that.
I do think I made
Sure.
quite nice flyers and correspondence letters, though.
Yeah. Isn't it a shame the party blew them up, Trig?
What? The town of Brest and all the stuff that was there.
Yeah. There
Yes and
You
no.
had literal barrels of Marks and Spencer money, whatever it was called.
There was Marks and Spencer's company script there. There was huge amounts of gunpowder. There was all sorts of other stuff, and there was a good 3 or 4 weeks worth of sessions of side quests and plots worked out for that place. And you were there for one day, and you leveled the entire town.
I did that?
Well, no, you didn't.
Yes,
but...
you did. You were solely responsible.
Excuse me, I think the people here actually wanted to partake.
If anyone was solely responsible, it was definitely Chase.
You know what? I'm really glad that he did blow the town up, because I felt really bad for what I did to it with that fire tornado, and he just put that all to bed.
You had smashed the place up with a fire tornado previously, yes. But your character was getting like gift from War God and all manner of other cool stuff, and then I had to literally resurrect half the freaking party.
He tried to go back in the kitchen and jump round and up to the kettle, and then I had to grab him and chuck him on the floor.
Did he now?
So now
Right, give him here.
So now he's in detention and the kitchen door is shut.
This is the cat that got outside.
Yes, he's in detention.
Oh, it sounds really unhappy.
Thoroughly unhappy about it.
Yeah. And now he's being cuddled against his will because he's fluffy and soft and cute. Even though he insists that he is.
No. Okay.
My family was recently up to visit, and whilst they were here, my mum actually got a really good picture of him. Yo, you wanna go free? Do you? Give us a hiss. Yeah, okay.
Don't make your cat hiss. That's when they're actually seriously angry when they hiss.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the picture that Oh, Jesus Christ, that's taking a while to upload. Give me a moment. There we go. Copy the link instead. Much better.
Oh. It's like an extremely skinny Munin.
That's the little escape artist bastard that tried to get out the window and then refused to come back until he was threatened with a ladder.
Black cats.
Yeah.
Phase out of existence and reappear in any given shadow nearby.
Don't threaten them with a ladder.
Most
Lure
cats
them with
walk-
food and treats.
We tried to lure him in with food. We have we have a packet of these little like chicken yogurt things that cats are supposed to absolutely love. And
Oh God, yeah.
he looked at it. He approached just close enough to be able to definitely confirm that it was one of those little chicken yogurt strip things, and then he promptly turned around and walked off. We tried the carrot. Believe me, we absolutely tried the carrot. Unfortunately, the carrot was refused.
Damn.
Apparently, black cats are quite intelligent and recognize that freedom is more important than a little tube of chicken-flavored yogurt.
Black cat. I keep telling you, Trey. Black cats are intelligent,
Okay,
and that
right.
you needn't call our black cats mew.
Look. He has a This was a picture of Munin we took, or I took a couple of days ago, where he'd cuddled up into my armpit and was then basically kneading the air and purring. I took a photo and it kind of looks like he's waving.
So when you pick up your cat, it starts needing air. When Junior picks up his cat, it starts begging for freedom.
Yeah.
Ginger, I think you might need to work on your cat whispering a bit there.
Okay. Here's the interesting thing about Apollo. He loves being picked up and cuddled, but only when I'm standing up. As soon as I go to sit down to actually begin stroking him on my lap, he starts complaining and starts trying to run away. He'll quite happily sit there in my arms if I'm walking around and, just generally speaking, carrying him. But it's as soon as I try to get comfortable so that I can start giving him some proper attention that he starts getting busy.
Yep. Was cat.
Sounds right.
Not about you, dude.
One's cat thinks he can get comfortable.
Yeah. The cheek.
Uh-huh. His sister, on the other hand, is absolutely, equally contrarian, but also far more adorable. She will always attempt to avoid being picked up and given any form of attention until you basically corner her, force her into your arms, at which point she immediately begins purring and kneading.
Oh.
You barely even need to stroke her. Just as pretty much as soon as she's actually being held, it's just the motor starts and the drooling comes shortly afterwards. She loves getting attention. Unless you've yet to give it to her. In which case she hates the attention.
Uh-huh.
A friend of mine has a saying when it comes to cats. Female cats are weird, and the reason why they are weird is not only are they cats, but they're also women. So cut them some slack, because they have to deal with being both.
I've had a lot of female cats up until recently. Most of my cats were female, and they were good girls. They were all very placid. And they became very, very attached to me, and generally got the hump when any women came round or anything like that. Male cats are a little bit more active, assertive, etc. Just as cuddly and just as friendly, but more sociable, I find.
More likely to come up to you of their own volition and actually rub up against you and things like that.
No, Rams was a very, very affectionate cat. Rami was, but she was. Yes, if I had a lady friend over, or she would, even my sister actually, she would get the hump and leave, and then be in a bad mood for an hour or so after they'd gone. Weird little cat. It's like, proper women behaviour, so to speak.
Rami is the one that got chased out of the garden by the robin, right?
Rami is the one that got chased out of the garden by a robin. To be fair, robins are feisty little buggers.
So, as much as I'm enjoying all of the cat talk,
Yep.
There is technically a D&D stream going on.
There is, and yes.
Oh.
And yes, we were planning for sort of a bit of a heist, if memory serves, a bit of a concert, a bit of a various money-making schemes along the lines of making ourselves rich and famous / rich and infamous. Depends on whether we want to stick around, really.
So, when we left off the previous session, if memory serves, the very last thing that had occurred was that you had thoroughly traumatized a fairly racist dwarf, and then just kind of left him to his own devices, not entirely sure whether or not he had survived.
No, I checked to make sure he was still alive.
Yes, you did, didn't you? Well, to those unaware, he did survive.
Good.
Barely. And only through sheer happenstance and luck.
Hey, I had a good medicine roll. It was probably my first good roll this campaign.
But yes, your party is now out and about in the streets of Varpak. You are off in the tourist district. And generally speaking, there's a variety of markets, stalls, places selling local street food. There's a few stalls selling foreign-looking trinkets and baubles and doodads and anything that you may be able to think of that you probably don't want.
Fair enough. Is there anything around that might have stuff that we do want?
Possibly. It depends on what you're after.
Well,
so, if you describe to me what it is that you're after, I will give you a vague idea as to whether or not you're in the right place for it.
At this point in time, can't really buy a huge amount, because even though we've got probably 100 or so gold-ish each, if memory serves correctly, or thereabouts for certainly 3 of us. I don't know how much Coat has got, but I know we made out like bandits on the first event we played.
In the first event,
Yep.
you were given approximately 300 gold split between you.
Yeah. So I think we ended up with about 80, 90 gold each. All in all.
Now, if you remember, you have agreed to return to the location of what you believe to be a Thieves Guild informant for the purposes of handing over a investment of sorts.
Indeed. This is what I was getting at. Is that I've got about 80-ish gold, but I really can't afford to spend much of that because that needs to go into an investment. An investment that if it is not repaid, and if these guys try to make off like bandits with our cash, I will turn that entire street into a smouldering crater somehow. Not quite sure how I would do that, but
why would we invest our money in it?
We need to get introductions to the right people.
Okay, but again, why would we invest our money into it?
Okay. What are you suggesting?
I mean, someone plays the buyer. Someone else is really interested in asking something about a particular item on the in the market. Someone else comes in and it's a third customer. They're getting a bit flustered and they don't notice their coin pouch going missing.
And you say we go on a robbing spree throughout the town?
Doesn't have to be a spree.
Just a
I
minor
suppose
offense.
technically, the right mark can be the equivalent of many poor people.
Who knows? We could pick up a magic item as well. 5-finger discount.
Quite. Okay. So what we'll be looking for. I mean, I know that I would like to get some fairly sort of fleshy looking studded leather armor. I know studded leather armor is a bit of a meme, but for a bard who's kind of going down the sort of rock star route, a serious set of leathers with some big metal studs and perhaps a fairly sort of prominent, shoulder pads and codpiece kind of deal, kind of fits with the whole idiom.
So you're looking for an outfit roughly analogous to what Cardgar is wearing in his character art.
A little bit, yeah, something along the line. Also, somewhere between that and think a cameo in the song "Word Up." And by all means, feel free to look up that one. I'm not going to, but yeah, it's very 80s rock / yeah.
I believe the term is glam rock. That's what you're.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah, I want to get Bobby sort of being a fairly iconic image, so people see him and they see the outfit and the hair more than the person, because that way we can put the outfit and the hair on somebody else, and Bobby can be elsewhere doing other things and have a perfectly good alibi. Should the case arise. Plus, useful to have pretty flash armor.
I've just typed in glam rock into Google Images, and this is one of the first results that popped up.
What have we got there?
Isn't that Bowie?
I think it might be.
That is Bowie. Oh no. Hold on. Oh.
That image is only 170 by 217. It's so tiny.
Oh, hang on. What about this? Is this more what you're going for? Look at that guy's guitar.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so the image that I've just posted isn't David Bowie. It's a wax sculpture of David Bowie.
Oh God.
That's why it looks off. Okay. So until further notice, that is the look that Bobby is aspiring to.
No, Motch. Hold on a second.
Oh, God, I thought I was going down the right path, but it's gone a bit gay. I mean, look at this.
I mean, that second one looks fairly close to a vampire that exists in my world somewhere. Are you okay, Code? We're suddenly able to hear a lot of breathing.
That's weird.
Hmm.
Do you still hear a lot of breathing?
No,
No,
but there was
just-
some definite sort of
Yeah.
going off. It was
I got it under my nose again.
yeah.
Hmm. Darth Vader having an asthma attack or something along those lines. So, what is it that you're currently looking for, Trig? Okay, good to know.
Something more along the lines actually of this. No, not glam rock.
Oh. What the? Okay. What do you even call that?
That is hair metal. I guess that was a band called Sig Sig Sputnik, which were a very overly stylized band in the 80s. But
Ah.
it was big hair, big shoulder pads, lots of image, shall we say?
The word I would use to describe what I'm looking at is ostentatious. And maybe just a smidge of ridiculous.
Yeah, ostentatious and ridiculous is yeah, that's what we're going for. Incidentally, if you ever want to overdose on the 80s in one song, Sig Sig Sputnik's "Shoot It Up" is the almost perfect pure essence of the 80s music video.
Delightful. So, just so that those who are watching along when this inevitably becomes a VOD can see, could you go ahead and just bring up those images onto the stream so that people can have an idea as to what you're on about?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let's open that.
I'm sure he'll do it in. He'll edit it in post, right? You'll go through your extensive editing network of programs and.
Well, yeah. What I'll do is I'll say that Kiki suggested this one, which was a big fat no.
What, the top one?
Kiki also suggested this one, which is also a bit gay and camp and glam metal and no. Although I do like the 4 guitars sort of fused into one.
Like the Coatrack.
You know,
Then-
I think that should be a magical instrument.
Then Ginge posted some sort of nightmare from whatever the David Bowie freak show that is, and then I said this. Maybe not the face thing, but definitely the. I mean, you know what? You know what? Actually, my avatar covers it quite well by itself. You know, the leathers, the big hair, maybe a bit more spike and leather, and yeah, think Henry VIII codpiece as well, because you know, gotta have plenty of room down there. Maybe make it red.
So, you know Tenacious D, the
Yes,
band that recently got themselves into a spot of hot water.
quite a lot of hot water. Yes.
Oh,
When you
the
posted
aim
that,
thing.
when you brought up that image of the 4-neck guitar, my very first thought was the guitar used in the music video for Master Exploder. Take a look. It's a bit ridiculous.
Yep. Love it. Why not? But there is method to my madness. You know, I don't just want a set of very stupid armor. It is essentially a disguise as well. Or maybe not disguise, but it enables an easy disguise elsewhere. Like I said, if people are used to seeing you with a certain look, suddenly being, mild-mannered, calm hair and perhaps a pair of spectacles and a suit, and all of a sudden nobody knows who the fuck you are, which is exactly what Bobby is going for.
Works really well.
Yeah, it's very effective. I mean, it worked. Superman, classic example. Pair of glasses and a suit turns Superman into Clark Kent. That's the kind of what we're going for, but more, rock and roll. Essentially.
Oh yeah, I mean, I doubt people would recognise me at work if I wore colour and took my hat off.
Precisely. Most people think you're Russian.
Apparently, Di approves of the legs guitar.
Of course. Ellie is a massive degenerate.
I would expect her to think it needs more tentacles.
So yes, besides the discussion of bizarre guitars and even more bizarre clothing, what is it that the rest of the party is looking to do? We have an idea of what Bobby is up to. He's looking for somebody who may be able to. He's looking for somebody who may be able to outfit him with a new look of sorts to aid in his upcoming scam-like escapades.
The scam,
But there is more than one person in this party.
There is. They don't count.
I mean, I did mention the scam. I don't know whether anyone else is involved in willing or wanting to get involved.
Well, that's the question.
Coatrack,
Ez.
Well, it depends. Like, what do you need people to do for us to work?
Right. Well, I have been through this a few times. This is not going to be a simple case of just one person going, "Hi, I've got this for sale. Does anyone want it?" And we need to create the image, the impression, essentially of urgency, and of it being someone who's actually got quite a lot of money, and just needs to liquidate an asset. So, main character, whoever's selling it, it's probably going to be me because that's what most of my skills have been focused towards. We'll need a bodyguard, a personal assistant, general people around him to make the whole image work. If you follow. It's a con. It's not a one-man band. It's got to be a case of, Mr. I think it was Donald Stoutman was the character's name. Mr. Stoutman, isn't available at the present moment, and he would need his secretary or his personal assistant to do a lot of the talking and maybe have a bodyguard, etc., etc. And the idea is that I don't really want to sell, but I've been put into a situation where I kind of have to because I need to liquidate some assets quickly. And as a result, I've gotten myself into a slightly foolish deal for someone else to take advantage of. They think they're taking advantage. They hand over the money thinking they're getting a steal. And in actual fact, they're getting a pretty piece of paper.
So... I reckon we got this. We've got Cardgar. He can be a secretary. I can do the muscle, and we've got a we've got a tall folk to be the cleaner.
Right. Not sure if that actually fits the exact route, but yes, something along those lines. Work out what you want to do, where you think you'd fit best within within the scam. But yeah, there is room for whoever wants to be involved, and the buy-in for being involved would be, I don't know. Let's I say we all chip in 50 gold if we're able to, or however much you can, and we'll sort out that the return on investment is equivalent to who puts in what amount.
Aren't we just going to pinch it off the merchants here?
Well, maybe.
I mean, why spend money when we can make money straight off?
We pinch it off the merchants if we can. Whatever we do now, yeah, we do. We raise some cash, some initial funds. Yeah, that's divvied up between us. Yeah, and then we decide how much of that after it's been divvied up that we reinvest. Yeah, there's still an input per person.
Right, let's find a wealthy merchant then. Who we got here? Who's selling some nice exotic goods? Let's find something expensive. We're tourists. We want to buy something dumb and pricey.
Something dumb and pricey that we could create a minor illusion for that will last a little while, that we can then just sort of do a bit of sleight of hand and replace with magic thing that looks right for a bit and gives us time to leave. That type of thing. Is that what you're after, Kiki?
In the immediate vicinity, looking up and down the road in which you find yourself, you're able to see that there are a variety of small stalls, some of which are selling food and some of which are selling trinkets. Generally speaking, you suspect that you may be able to find something worth a few gold pieces, but you get the impression that this is more a you get the impression that the people in your immediate vicinity are selling more along the lines of easily reproduced tat.
Not interested.
You're right.
We want either magic items, though magic items is trouble because the people that sell them, they know they're dealing with stuff they've usually got detect magic wards. Jewels are good.
Well,
and we don't want to actually make a purchase. We just want to essentially DDoS him so that his coin purse goes missing.
Yeah. Or right, Ez, you can create a thing, can't you?
I've been known to create a thing or two in my time. Yes.
You can create a thing that's worth a certain amount that will last for a while.
Oh, you're talking about my creative trait.
Literally the words I used. Yes. Would it be worth us going and trying to find an armorer, say, or something like that, and maybe make a sword to swindle them out of a nice weapon or a nice item, or get a return on an item, etc.
I think it only lasts an hour though.
Well, yeah, we're not going to fucking stay around for that. We're not going to hang around in the shop after we've got the money or the goods.
I'm just saying, reputation and all will probably grow in a certain direction.
Yeah, I know. I am with you, and I don't want to do this too much and just be, by the time we get to do a concert, just get greeted by the police and carted off as being a gang of thieves.
Do you want some advice from the DM?
By all means, chip in.
On your way over to the city, you happen to pick up a selection of rare extra-planar items from a particular creature that you slew. Take it to the right location and give the right amount of persuasion and argumentation, and you may be able to make yourself a pretty penny.
Are we
Yeah, but
talking
those
about
were-
the sea urchin thing we fought?
Yeah.
Yeah, those spines are so that we can make fancy outfits, though.
No. Let's if we can sell 3 of them and make and buy a fancy outfit. Well,
I've still got 36 of them left.
that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
So, somebody make a statement as to what your plan is.
Let's go see if we
The
can.
world is
Yeah.
your oyster.
I agree. I think DM has had a very solid idea. Let's liquidate the unspeakable horror fishing hooks and various other stuff, and also
So,
find out what there is that we can have around the place.
Speaking of, by the way, 4 of those barbs were used in the creation of a quite literal fishing hook.
There were.
Are you going to be salvaging those, or are you keeping that around for its potential uses?
That unspeakable horror fishing hook is part of my indestructible fishing tackle kit. No. So I would probably, unless they're worth an absolute fortune, probably not, because that's quite a bit of fishing kit we've got there. Whether or not
Speaking of your indestructible fishing rod, by the way,
yep,
I will point out a couple of details about it that your character would know, but your player may not be aware of.
go on.
First of all, you're claiming it to be indestructible. It is highly resistant, but it is not indestructible. Think made of wood feels like titanium.
Okay.
Very, very resistant, not completely indestructible.
I will
Secondly,
put the indestructible in quotation marks.
Secondly, the rod is indestructible.
Yes,
The line isn't.
of course.
So what is this mythical material that it seems to be made of? Is it like some kind of bamboo?
The material that it's made of is a wood of indescribed nature, and is only has these resistant qualities due to it having been magically reinforced. As I mentioned at the time that you bought it,
You did.
during the process of the creation of a magical item, one of the very first things a given enchanter does is apply a simple enchantment that just gives said item greatly increased durability. So, with that said, if you're looking to sell off those barbs, I would say describe to me how you go about enacting this plan.
Well, we'll try to find. I don't know where. Somebody else have a go at this, because where would we go? Let's find the shop that we can sell these at. Do we
Shops that come to mind for me: taxidermist, alchemist, enchanter.
Enchantment? Yeah, that's a good idea.
So,
based on what Ginger said about how durable they are, and they are fairly sharp, we probably should keep maybe 5-10 of them to make some knuckle dusters out of.
Maybe. See how much they're worth first. As I said, there's no point in keeping them around if we can buy a set of knuckle dusters with one or whatever.
Knuckle dusters?
I don't know. I don't like the knuckle dusters is a crude weapon for someone who makes music to use.
I was going to say, we're bards. We're not some common thugs. We fight people with music.
I am going to work on the ritual for casting this as we're wandering around.
Right, so you pull out whatever musical instrument you're proficient with and just start playing a little ditty as you go.
Indeed. And if it runs out, I'll continue it so that I can understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that I might hear. Or any written language.
Now, does comprehend languages impart the ability to speak the language or just understand it?
The spell doesn't decode secret messages in a text or anything like that. It is purely, it says here, you understand the literal meaning. I'm not a multilinguist. When this happens, I am just someone that understands the...
well, just so that you know,
or what is heard.
in This spell will grant you the ability to understand things that are spoken to you,
Yep.
but you lack the ability to respond.
I mean, yes. I mean, I know I could respond, but I can't respond in that language.
Yes.
If someone sort of goes, filthy halfling over there, but says it in Elvish, I'll get the message and can give him the old, two-fingered salute. There's nothing to stop me from responding like that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How does
So-
that work? Do you just hear them speaking English in your head?
I don't know exactly. It doesn't. It's understand the literal meaning. So it doesn't say that it's translated, but it just means I get the I get the gist. It also works with written languages, so maybe it is a spell after all.
It could be like a Babelfish, like just a really bad direct Google Translate.
Yeah, you know what? Babelfish is a good example.
There's a video that I saw recently that would quite accurately describe how this would work. It was a video of a pair of bilingual English and German speaking individuals having a conversation wherein they were speaking in English, but with entirely directly grammatical German.
Oh.
So, for example, instead of what one of the characters in this sketch worked as a dentist, and instead of calling himself a dentist, he called himself a tooth doctor. That's the kind of thing that you that's the kind of thing that you could expect from this. It would be literal word-to-word translations from one language to another with none of the implicit understanding that a native speaker would have.
Damn, songs and poetry will sound really weird to you.
Yes, they would.
But I'd get the meaning. But I wouldn't, as it says, I can't decode secret messages with this.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean he'll hear metaphors literally?
Yes.
That's not
Well,
quite a secret message if it's a metaphor, though. That's just a metaphor.
Yeah.
If you're
Oh, wait, I'm thinking idiom.
If you're speaking to somebody through the use of comprehend languages, you would effectively be speaking from the same perspective as Teal'c from Stargate.
Yeah. Not trying to speak to people, trying to earwig. You know, it's that classic sort of, oh, there's a bunch of Chinese people over there speaking Chinese. I'm going to listen in on them and laugh at their joke and make them go, oh fucking hell, he can understand what we're saying and get all self-conscious. That's where I'm going. What I'm going for. I'm not trying to speak their language. I'm just trying to earwig on conversations that is trying to be hidden from me. Should that be the case?
So,
Now I'm expecting Ginger to make you overhear something that, in its native language, would be some sort of common cultural in joke, but the literal translation makes it sound like there's a really good thing going on that we need to get involved in.
I'll consider it. Thank you for the idea.
Right. Well, if we're going to be keeping spells up, I would like to keep a couple of unseen servants going while we travel.
Mm-hmm. You will be able to note as you go about casting, doing these ritual castings, by the way, that it appears as though that you do get a variety of looks as you go along. Most of those looks appear to be of a curious nature of, oh, there's somebody playing a musical instrument over there.
That's great.
However, you occasionally get the idea that some people recognize that you are in fact casting magic and are basically just aware of the fact that you are casting said magic. You're not, however, getting any kind of feeling of unease from these people. You get the impression that people around here are, generally speaking, fine with you just doing magic in public, so long as they are aware of it. There's no visual stigma, let's just put it that way.
Groovy.
Open carry state.
So,
Yep.
in effect,
If anyone pays any interest, I will break off and do a little ditty for them. Perhaps even a dance and a jig kind of thing.
A flourish.
A flourish, indeed.
Perfect. So, with that said, with you doing a ritual casting of a spell, and Ez and Kiki doing the same, that means that the only person.
Hang on, what spell am I casting?
Didn't you say that you were casting something?
I
He didn't.
remember.
He didn't.
Oh, well, in that case,
I don't think I've
it
got
would
any
be.
ritual spells.
You not?
In that case, it would be down to Cardgar or Essig to go about trying to ask for directions to find an appropriate place to potentially sell some exotic goods.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go up to the first person walking on the street that looks like he's not a tourist, and just say,
Mhm.
"Hey, we've got some interesting animal bits that we wanted to sell. Where do we go for that?"
Well, you end up walking over to a dwarf. Surprise, surprise, given
And
you're
I'll
in a
say it in
dwarven city.
Dwarvish.
Excellent. And he responds in kind, saying, well, if you, it depends on what you've got exactly. If it's something more, well, what is it that you've got? He asks.
I'll take one out and just hold up between finger and thumb and say, "One of these, if you kind of a point." Yeah.
He puts his hand out, open palm, gesturing for you to hand it to him.
I'm not going to hand it to him.
He looks at you for a moment and then closes his hand and says, well, that looks like a tooth to me of some kind. He scratches his head and says, I don't know, maybe get it appraised first?
All right, so where's the nearest appraiser?
I reckon you'd be best going down to the harbour. I'm guessing you pulled it off something from the water? Doesn't look like an animal tooth to me.
I think it came out of a sea urchin, a really big one.
Big sea urchin?
Yeah, like the size of a boat.
Closer to a squid, but yeah.
Well, yeah. At that point, he seems to get an idea and says, "Oh, well, in that case, probably take it over to the trade district and look for somebody who's selling magic stuff, or maybe an alchemist."
Well, I guess that's as good a start as any. No, I thank the guy and yeah, I guess we go over to the market district, like you said.
Now,
Unless,
this guy, while
Yep.
he's distracted and speaking with our good friend there, how distracted is he? And does he look like he's got any loose pouches or anything about him?
The man appears to be wearing nothing that you would describe as loose. And he seems to be wearing what can best be described as summer wear, which is interesting considering that he is. It's not exactly summer. It's currently. It's currently early spring, I would say, in the world. And as he's having this conversation, you give a quick appraisal of him. You notice that he doesn't seem to have much in the way of pockets or pouches, with the exception of a single large sack which is carried over his left side. Almost looks like a
Oh, never
mailman's
mind.
bag.
Yeah, never mind. I'll leave him to it.
But yes, with that information in hand, you guys have a vague idea as to which way to go, especially considering that there are clearly labeled signs giving you a idea as to where each of the districts are and which way to go to get to them.
Alchemist and magic store in general might be a good idea, just to go and get some, any components that we might need for anything specific. I don't know how big you are on component casting. Most people waive the basic stuff, like an eyelash and a gnat's fart and stuff. But stuff that requires a beholder eye, a rare diamond of minimum value 10,000 diamond or gold rather.
I will
Tends to
I will
need.
tell you exactly.
Go on.
If it has a listed gold value,
Yep.
you'll have to tell me if you want to acquire it.
Right.
If it doesn't have a listed gold value, but is a particularly obscure item, like, for example, something trapped in amber, then you ask me and I'll let you know if it's likely that you can just pick one up nearby.
Well, there's one I'm looking at the present moment, which actually seems fairly easy, which is an eyelash encased in gum arabic. That seems fairly
You can just
basic.
do that.
I was going to say gum arabic is fairly basic stuff, and we have an almost unlimited amount of eyelashes. Most.
Yep, you'd be able to pick that up as well. I would say that you already have one.
Groovy.
Yeah. Whereas, for example, with my identify spell, I would probably need to go out and find that pearl worth at least 100 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Indeed, you would.
That's what I was thinking. It's exactly that. I mean,
Does
I
pearl
use
get
the.
used up?
It isn't, no.
So you just need one.
Yeah.
That's right. In fact, you only need one for the entire party.
Yeah. I mean, I was using the example of this, which is an amazingly good spell, but requires an odd, but not expensive eyelash.
Okay, so for my chip of Mika, however you pronounce that, considering that's just some really brittle stone, do I need to worry about that?
No. Those kinds of material components you can expect to as part of the background for your character prior to the events of this campaign, you would have just been able to pop into a shop and pick one up for like a couple copper pieces. If it
Cool.
doesn't have a listed gold value, then yeah, it's pretty easy.
Groovy.
Like there are basically anywhere that even vaguely interacts with magic, which you can expect such a location to be present in just about every settlement that you ever travel to, with the exception of the absolute smallest bumfuck nowhere locations. You can expect these kinds of general wares to be available. It's the magical equivalent of a tin of beans.
Eye of Newt, etc., is not a rare thing.
Exactly.
Groovy. Okay, well, yeah. Let's head to an alchemist place anyway. See if they're or general magical place. See if we can flog some tat, and see what they've got. Also, we were thinking about music boxes. Stuff that could change, amplify, and augment any musical sound. Also, anything that might be a sort of a quest of some sort, something to get us onto a path of misadventure or adventure.
So, I will give you this information for free, as you are a bard.
Mm-hmm.
That generally speaking, there are different grades of magical item when it comes to musical instruments specifically. You have mundane musical instruments, which are the kind of things that you already have access to. And there are other, as you increase in grades of quality, generally speaking, minor aspects of the musical instrument's abilities are enhanced. One of the first being that the musical instrument not only produces sound that can be heard through conventional means, but sound that can be heard through magical means, and thus are always able to be heard within a certain radius of the instrument. Like, for example, if you had a low grade magical musical instrument, say a set of drums, and you were to play those drums, it doesn't matter how much background noise there was at that time, the sound of those drums would never be drowned out. because they would effectively be piped into the psyche of whoever is within the certain vicinity of them. So you can go for a musical amplifier if you want, and that would have the purpose of effectively taking non-magical musical instruments and giving them that distribution quality. But you could also just get something that has that kind of quality built into it.
That would be awesome.
You would also be aware that such items do cost not an excessive amount of money, but, you know, there's limited demand for these things.
There's a reason why.
Not everyone's a bard.
Exactly. There's a reason why we're trying to make a big stack of cash as quickly as possible. Yes.
So, unless there's anything that anybody wants to do on the way over to the market district, you are able to arrive there in, say, 20, 30 minutes or so of rather brisk walking, by which time you would be able to complete any such ritual castings that you are looking to complete.
Groovy.
So, upon arriving in a small region that consists of a variety of magically oriented shops, you are presented with a few options. First of all, there is a shop that seems to not have a dedicated name, but instead a sign with just a artistically depicted mortar and pestle on the front of it, as well as another place that has a sign that just simply reads magical wares and goods. There are a few other options that seem to be a little bit further away from what you're looking for, but those are the two options that you feel as though will probably give you the best bet for flogging some potentially weird magical items drawn from a weird creature.
Okay. Which one do we want to go into, guys? The alchemist or the other guy?
Well, what's stopping us from let's do one and then the other. Let's see. Let's play one off against the other on price as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you go for the alchemist first.
Let's go for the alchemist. Yeah. Great.
We'll do it alphabetically.
So, as you make your way into the store, you see that there are a variety of items arranged on a shelf that is immediately within view, but not immediately accessible due to a counter being in the way. You get the impression that what you just walked into is at least partially the medieval fantasy equivalent of a pharmacist shop.
Oh my god, a pharmacy.
Indeed. As you do so, you see that there is a red-haired, human-looking fellow who is stood behind a given counter. Tall and slender, he looks at
Apothecary.
You as you make your way in. Indeed, you get the impression that he is an apothecary. And as you make your way in, he takes a look up from a book that he is reading and opens his arms wide and says, "Hello! What can I do for you, fellows?"
Hello there. We've got these finds, these quills that we found that we're wondering if you could help identify and maybe tell us if they're worth anything. Now, I'll put two of them on the counter in front of him.
Sure. He picks one up and first of all pokes his finger onto the tip of one, and you see it draws a small trickle of blood, and he quickly shakes that off and says, "Pretty sharp stuff. give me some information about what I'm looking at here. What can you tell me?
Well, we were traveling down the river, and this creature came out of the river, somewhere up north from here.
Stop. Call yourself a bard. Good lords, you've got the chance to tell a story. Let's tell the man a story. I'm going to roll for performance, and I'm going to give him a tale. The tale of the giant squid that attacked us in the middle of the night, that we valiantly fought to the death, and finally vanquished and destroyed our foe, and taking our trophy from its dead husk. We now present you with our trophy.
You see a look of surprise has come across his face. Roll me a performance check.
Absolutely. Most boring. You're a bard, dude. Play a bard. Role play. How's a 20 do you?
Well, you see, as you go through the process of retelling the epic tale of how you vanquish this creature by inflicting great psychological and physical wounds upon it, ending the encounter by literally blowing it up from the inside using its own entrails. By the end of which, you see the man is thoroughly impressed and says, "Well, after a story like that, I won't charge you for the appraisal." Right. You're happy for me to take one of these round back and keep it and see what I can find out about it?
My good man, I wouldn't stop you for a second. Tell us what we need to know.
Righto. I'll be back in just a moment, he says as he takes the two barbs and wanders round into an unseen spot in the shop, after which he promptly looks back and says, "Oh, and bear in mind the shop's warded, so no funny business."
Of course. Is there anything good in there? Let's do a quick perception roll and get a 17. 17. 17. Unless someone wants to give me a hand with that. But
Yeah, I'll assist.
Anything good in there that we might catch our eye?
Well, hang on a moment. I've just been sent a DM that I need to give a once over of.
Fair enough.
Right, so what was the perception check for? What is it that you're looking for?
Good stuff that's of value and particularly shiny, essentially. What's his flashiest thing that he has there? Does he have perhaps a belt of giant strength? A potion or two of giant strength? Something that, might...
Looking around the shop, you get the distinct impression that this is a man who sells consumables and expendables. You see a variety of bottles, all with various coloured liquids and not so liquids flowing around inside of them, some of which seem to be almost autonomously animated, continuing to flow long after you've stopped agitating the bottle itself. Reading the labels, you're able to see that there are a variety of health potions of varying degrees, some of which are described in fine text saying for treating minor cuts and bruises, all the way up to for saving the life of those on the verge of death. You get the impression that the more powerful the description, the more pricey the tag may be. Though what is noteworthy is that there is no given labels on any of the goods, it seems. One potion that catches your eye, however, is one that appears to have almost a yellowish glow to it. You shield it with your hand from the natural light coming in from the window and see that it does indeed appear to be giving off its own light.
A glowy potion.
Hmm. Turning the bottle around, you don't appear to see any kind of label. You get the impression that either it's fallen off or perhaps it's been intentionally left without a label.
Does the top appear to be stuck in place, or could I take it off and give it a bit of a sniff?
It has a wooden stopper.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do?
I'm going to say, my good man, this bottle here. Pray tell me what is in this. This seems fantastical.
He calls from the back of the shop. What's it look like?
I describe it to him.
Thinks for a moment and says, that's probably one of the haste potions.
A haste potion.
You're looking to buy one?
Thinking about it, how much would all of these set me back?
60 gold, let's say.
Okay, well, we'll think about it. Looking to make a bit more cash before we can start splashing out on things like that. Tell you what, I'll swap it for one of those hooks.
Well, depending on what you got, I might take you up on that. You get the impression that he hasn't quite narrowed down what it is that you've handed to him yet. But as you continue to look around, you spot a particular, an odd-looking pouch. It looks like it's about the size of a tennis ball and appears to be made of some kind of almost leather, maybe a bladder of sorts. And looking at it, you get the impression that it's filled with some kind of powder rather than a liquid. It does have a label on it, and it simply says powder of vanishing.
Oh, now that's useful.
Again, I will shout over there. This powder of vanishing, how does that work? I can do invisibility spells. Is it just a matter of just like I would with talcum powder, just sort of throw some in the air and walk through it and poof, disappear?
Hang on a moment. You see, you hear he seemingly puts something heavy down and makes his way into the front of the shop and points at you and says, that's a custom one of my own make. And he walks over to you and he says, pass that here and I'll give you a quick little demonstration. How about that?
Oh, by all means. I pass it over.
Yep. He takes the pouch and he takes a small pinch of the powder out of it and puts sprinkles the powder over a copper piece that he pulls out of his pocket, and nothing happens for a few seconds before you see it slowly seem to vanish over the next few seconds, after which point you see that there is seemingly nothing in his hand at all. He says, this is kind of like an invisibility potion, but you can use it on things rather than people.
How much did it set you back?
Oh, this one's a special. This will be 300 gold pieces.
Oh, it does exactly what it says in the tin. It makes your money disappear.
It made that money disappear.
Well, it's not actually gone, you see. And you see as he maneuvers his hand and then promptly thumb flicks the gold piece into the air, and you hear the distinctive ting of a metal coin being flipped before it impacts the floor a few seconds later. you see a spot on the floor where it disturbs a small, thin layer of dust and dirt that's been brought in from various visitors into the shop, but the coin itself remains vanished.
I see. Does it work on elves? Does it work on the unsuspecting?
He looks for a moment and says, "It." Well, he shows you his fingers, and well, you see his fingers. He
Right.
says, "It doesn't work on living stuff. It only works on. It only works on. Well, things, not people.
So I can't sprinkle
I
it
mean-
on my friend's hair, for example, and have him go bald for a bit.
No, you can't. But if you were to sprinkle it over your friend, you'd you could get him arrested for nudity."
Aha! Okay.
Now, do you have anything to help find all of these trip hazards that you leave invisibly on the floor after you've dropped them?
Oh, it wears off after a couple hours. Before
Righto.
that, though, yeah, just keep an eye on things. Well, best as you can. Well, if you're looking to buy the pouch, I can do it for 300, or I can split it to something more within your budget range.
How much dust do you need per item?
Oh, just a pinch will do something that can fit in your hand. If I will now explain it to you in non-RP terms. Items capable of fitting into the palm of your hand would use 1 charge of it. Items that you would consider to be of a small size, so think anywhere between a football to a beach ball, those would be considered medium items. Those would require 2 charges. And items that would be roughly of humanoid size and shape, those would be considered a large item and would require 3 charges. And
Right.
this given pouch that he has in his hand has a total of 30 charges in it.
Okay.
Right. And how much was he charging for that again?
300 gold for
300 300
So
for the
10
whole
gold per
pouch.
charge.
In effect, yes.
that. Not bad.
No.
See, I'm thinking that could be used on something to make something disappear, or make other people think something has disappeared, that we could then retrieve at a later date.
I was thinking it would be really good if we go adventuring, as we often do, and come across somewhere where we need to set a trap for some goblins or something, then we can make the trap disappear.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I tell you what.
He points at you and says, "Yep, that'd be a damn fine idea to use this for."
Absolutely. So, I reckon I'll be looking at about 3 charges.
Alrighty, so that'll be 30 gold's worth. I'll get that measured out for you. Oh, and if you can find that copper piece, you can keep it.
Did I forget some time when we got money? Because I don't remember having nearly that much.
We, on the first event, the first session, we put on a performance. We rolled some mad rolls. We earned quite a lot of cash.
Yeah, they basically took about half the gold in the town.
Yeah.
Right, I was busy that day. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You missed that one. So yeah.
You hadn't joined the party yet.
Let's get these bids appraised though, because
So as he makes his way over to the counter, you see as he uses a small scoop that you can see he as he pulls it out of a drawer, he seemingly changes its size just by kind of looking at it. It's an odd thing. And when it gets to the right size, he uses it to take a few scoops of this powder out of the pouch and put them onto a piece of waxed paper and proceeds to bind that up into place and places it on the counter in front of him and says, "Right then, that'll get you one decently sized invisibility on an item, or you could turn a few bits and pieces invisible too. 30 gold, please."
Yeah, I'll hand him over 30 gold.
Okay, and go ahead and add into your inventory vanishing powder, and I would actually recommend putting it in where you have your expendable resources, like where you'd put arrows and things like that, and list it there as 3 of 3.
Okay, I was going to say I tend to track the value of items in my the number of items I've got left in my item list anyway, unless you're suggesting that this regenerates over time.
It doesn't regenerate over time, though.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and track it however you like. That I just described how I would do it. So with that said, he takes the pouch and he puts it back on the shelf where you originally spotted it, and then says, "I think I've got it pretty narrowed down as to what this probably is, but I've just got to double check one last thing, so I'll be another minute or two," before popping back into the back of the shop and once again leaving you to your business. And
Okay.
if you patiently wait for the next few moments, he eventually makes his way back out with a rather thick-looking red leather-bound tome under his arm with a leather strap applied to it, and the small barb that you brought out. He places the book down, uses the leather strap to open it to a specific page, and says, "Right, looks like whatever you killed is not native to this plane. It's
I told you guys.
Oh, you study the outer planes, do you?
I told him it wasn't from this one.
Well, yeah, good guess. Yeah, so if you take a look at this," and he turns the book around and reveals what appears to be a pencil sketch that is surprisingly well done, as well as a small block of text next to it. And the sketch seems to be fairly accurate to what you guys thought. And it appears to be a creature known as a dark star. It's a native of the realm that Charybdis owns, the elemental god of the water, seas, and general aspects of mariner stuff, and describes how this is being effectively a elemental of sorts and representative of the evil god of the seas, Charybdis. It's a creature that seems to manifest and covet that of other entities. And these barbs here are effectively hooks that it uses to grab things and pull them into itself and put a stranglehold on them, eventually crushing the life out of them. With that said, he then hands the barb back to you and says, I'd be willing to give you 3 silver per for these. I could crush them down into a powder and extract some of the quintessence out of them in order to make some interesting little bits and pieces. I reckon with the right refining, I could probably make something that would give you the ability to swim at high speed.
Huh. Seems reasonable. What do you say, guys? You want to sell these for a couple of silver? How many have we got? 30 odd.
I reckon we
Well,
hang on to a
6.
few. Keep your fishing hook.
I'm keeping the fishing hook. Yeah, absolutely.
You fashion them into a fishing hook?
I fashioned a couple. Well, we fashioned a couple into a fishing hook. Yeah.
Ah, good idea. That's putting them to their original use.
Figured. I will show him my fishing rod and talk and go, look, that's what we did. Got a nice rod.
He's as he looks at that, he whistles and says, "Nasty stuff." And then cottons on to the pun that you said and just smiles at you.
So,
Caught a seagull with this the other day.
All right. How'd you manage that?
Well, we took the mickey out of the seagull. It fell down, and then we stuck it on the end of the hook. Use it to catch a bigger fish. A bigger fish than the seagull, that was.
Bards. I see. So what did you call it, a flying rat or something?
Something along those lines. We actually might have wiped out a fair old flock of them, to be honest. It took us a while to actually get one. We were in the boat and we were sailing past and they were falling, and yeah, we didn't get the first
A
one.
bit of complimentary pest control for the city.
Well, they're seagulls. Nobody likes seagulls.
they were hard to catch. I mean, we were going really fast. It must have been, what, 5 knots?
6 at least.
Fast? That's not fast at all. That's not like, at least not last I checked.
Now, thinking about it, this guy, in fact, what's your name? We never asked.
Barry.
Harry. But
No,
Harry
Barry with a B.
Barry. Barry's magic shop. Barry here from his magic shop has got some mighty fine stuff. He's got some very interesting things here that could be fun, could be good on the stage. But I don't know, Barry, how interested would you be in sponsorship? You know, you throw us a few trinkets here and there, and we go on stage, attract a big crowd, and use some of your items, and let people know that we got them from Barry's magic shops.
I'm not sure that most of the stuff in here would be good for that kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know. What on a show? I mean, for a start, what we can do is you could give me the haste potion, I could neck a load of it, and then I could play my lute really fast. Get some really rapid riffs. That type of thing. You know, maybe you got some flash powder, some smoke, you know, the vanishing powder, for example. Could play invisible instruments. Be a bit of a bugger, we might need to practice on that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that'd be too easy. I played a flute as a kid, and I wouldn't be able to manage that if it was invisible.
See, we're just riffing.
Oh well, let me think of what I might be able to come up with, and if I can come up with any ideas, I might take you up on the offer.
Cool. Well, we will be. Which was the Bull's Head? We're staying at the Bull's Head. I think it's the Bull's Head, isn't that right? We were staying at the Bull's Head. Well, we are now.
Do you mean the Hog's Head?
Hog's Head. That's the one. I knew it was a farm animal and a head.
Yeah, the Bull's Head. You know what? There's probably somewhere in the world called that. Anyway, how many of these barbs are you selling?
Ez, you were the one that got the barbs.
Well, we've got 36 of them. Do we want to keep any back, or
how much were you selling them for again? A couple of
3 silver.
3 silver a bob.
And it's 10 silver for a gold piece, isn't it?
That's right.
Do we want to keep any of them?
I mean, keep your fish hook. Maybe keep a couple just in case.
You know what? I'll keep 6 back, and we can give him 30. And that would be basically 10 gold pieces.
10
roughly.
gold pieces. Exactly.
Well, when you say that, he looks at you and nods and says, "Well, that would certainly make things easy for handing over the gold."
All right. Yeah, I'll give him 30, and in exchange for 10 gold pieces. And then do we split this with people who are not with us?
You're talking about the currently zombified Motch in the background.
Indeed.
Yes.
I mean, it seems that I should get some of it since I carried the bloody things and found the shop. You should get some for your little music number.
Mm-hmm.
I
We all took part in decking the beast as well.
True.
I'll tell you what.
Let's put it in. Why don't we put in the kitty for your little plan?
That's what I was going to suggest, because we need at least 100 gold. I can put up a fair amount of that, but that would leave me very heavily invested in it. I'd rather share some of the burden, and as I said, depends on who's in for how much. Depends on how we split the pot as well.
All right, there's what, five bards here, 10 gold, so we're at least all in for 2.
Yeah.
We only need to raise 100.
That was it was 100. Would get the buy-in and get the introduction. Yeah.
I will note that when you were discussing it with the Thieves Guild representative, he said the more you put in, the better you can expect the results to be.
He did.
Well, before we decide what the minimum value is, we do have a gig to play at the Hogshead at some point, I believe.
We were gonna play something probably this evening, weren't we?
We got that new sound we discovered last night.
Yeah, well, you did. I didn't. What was the other shop we were looking at?
The other shop that you were planning to go to was the Magic Items shop, which was across the way from the alchemy/pharmacy that you're currently in.
Let's pop in there and find out we were just robbed. The Bards, and see if they've got anything else. I'm putting notes in the thing of what was available in Barry's alchemist shop, and if we find what Jeff has in his magic trinket store as well, we've at least got something, that we can go. Oh, we'll go and grab X of these and Y of these, and at a later date.
Well, as I will note that a lot of the things that you see in this first shop are things that wouldn't necessarily be of interest to an adventuring party, but would maybe be of interest to somebody who, lives in a city. Like, for example, you see there's a bottle filled with a liquid with a dropper in it that you spotted effectively gave you the ability to see at night. And there was also a bottle that simply suppressed hunger for a time, and various bits and pieces that you feel as though could potentially be useful, but would more so be handy for just people living day to day in the city and having various minor bonuses, things of that nature.
But nonetheless, you mentioned haste potions, powder of vanishing, and healing potions, all of which are relatively useful for adventurers and the like.
That said, as you make your way out of the building and make your way over to the magical trinkets and doodad shop, you make your way in and you see that this one is apparently much less well organized. Having a somewhat familiar looking structure to the general store that you found over in Nobblesgate, you see that the walls are lined with shelves, as has been previously described. However, in the actual main section of the store itself, there is an island of sorts, which just has all sorts of little bits and pieces scattered about it. And as you look around, you notice that everything seems to have some level of sparkly, minor magical nature to it. You see that there's glassware, crystal decanters, knives and forks, things of that nature, are all little bits and pieces that you suspect probably have some minor magical property to them, the majority of which are probably going to be something along the lines of self-cleaning and things like that. If you want to roll an investigation check or describe to me something that you're specifically looking for, I'll be able to give you some idea as to what you may be able to find.
Let's give you an investigation check in that case.
I will do the same.
Okay, so Codgar and Bobby are able to make their way around the area, and you are able to spot, well, as I described earlier, all kinds of little useful bits and bobs, doodads, and so forth that you get the impression would be really handy to just a standard domestic family. But Piper, you spot something in particular that you think is especially interesting. A pair of earrings.
Oh,
And there's just something about this that catches your eye. And as you pick them up and you take a look at them, you notice that there is some aspect to this that's just, it's just got you thinking. And whilst the label simply says enchanted to remain perpetually lustrous, no, there's something more to this. There's something more to this.
is there a shopkeeper around here at all?
There is. In fact, there is a woman, portly, dwarven, portly for a dwarf, I might add, wide, big curly hair, and she's just looking at you, at the lot of you in general, really, with a rather large smile on her face, happy to apparently see somebody taking an interest in her wares.
Well, I'm going to leave my my notes to enact themselves, and I'm going to ask her what these are about, what they do. They look pretty.
Yep, give me just a moment. So, as you hand over the earrings, she takes a look at them and says, "Well, it says right here on the box, little lady, they stay shiny forever." And you can see here that they've got a pair of emeralds in them.
Well, they're not emeralds, surely. They look like enchanted beads.
You
They've
think
got the
so?
luster. Yeah, they've got the
She's
luster, but I'm sure they're not emeralds. Trust me, us Shire folk, we know emeralds.
We know most
She
things that are
scratches
green.
her head and takes a look at them and says, "Well, if you think so, I might have to get them identified."
I will advantage that. Oh no.
I can throw you a helping hand on.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, you're advising as well. You're playing into this.
Absolutely.
So go on. What do you say, Robert?
I'm going to suggest that my good friend here actually has the ability to magically identify things.
Oh, is that right?
It is. It is. In fact, all she would need is a small pearl, which I'm sure you would have something of that ilk lurking around in the shop. And she could probably identify these things for you for a nominal fee, potentially.
Or
perhaps, what do you say, Piper? We could do this service for them. I'll let you decide.
How many times can you do the identify? How many goes have you got in you?
As many times as you like. Depends how long you've got.
Oh, you see her eyes light up at that, and she says, "Hang on a moment," and she disappears behind a particularly tall door to her right, and seconds later appears carrying what can best be described as a gargantuan crate of junk. She almost slams it down on the counter next in front of her, putting it between yourself and her, and then promptly pops out from behind said gargantuan crate of junk and says, "Give me an hour and you can have the earrings."
Done.
And she says, "Do you got a pearl, or do you need me to lend you one?"
If you can lend me one, that'd be great. I'm a little. I don't know what's happened to my last one. They just disappear on you, don't they? All in your pocket. I don't know.
They're a nightmare. I've told you. What you need to do is put one on a necklace or on a little wristband or in a ring. Ring would be nice, actually.
Oh, that's a good idea. And she brings out a pearl that is far larger than what you were expecting. It's nearly the size of a golf ball, and it's also not round. It's knobbly.
Knobbly pearl?
Yes, okay. It looks as though it may be maybe 4 or 5 different pearls kind of merged together, maybe with definitive creases in between the centers of mass of each part. It's it doesn't look like basically what you're looking at is a white and shiny. It's a turd. I'll be honest, it's a turd. It's a poop shaped pearl. But you get the impression from the size of it, it's definitely worth 100 gold.
Well, I can do 6 items in 10 minutes. Sorry, in an hour.
Yep, 10 minutes per 6 items. She nods at that and she says, "Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Just anything you like from the box. Just take anything that you can do. That'd be great. The person I usually get to identify my stuff for, he's taken ill, and that's not great. So your time's well worth it."
All right, I'll go potluck. I'll just reach in blind and look at the first item.
The first item that you pull out is actually a small knife, not a dagger, definitely a knife. And it is in a leather sheath of sorts. As you pull it out and you identify it over the course of 10 minutes, you find yourself a knife of toasting.
Hold on, is that a knife?
By the way, Trick,
Is that a knife for a dwarf or halfling, or is that a short sword in halfling hands? Such a sting was definitely a small dagger for a human, and without a doubt a short sword in the hands of Frodo.
the
Have you got a...
the blade on this knife is approximately 3 inches long.
That's a knife. It's a knife
Yes.
in anyone's hands. Fair enough.
You got some bread?
She looks confused and then says, "Sure," and literally just pulls out a small piece of bread from her pocket.
I'll say, well, this here is a knife of toasting. Now, cut into the bread and display the freshly toasted slices.
Oh, that's great! Does it work on butter?
Oh, it must do.
I'd imagine it would cut right through butter like a hot knife.
Like
so
a
to
hot
speak.
knife?
Yeah.
She
In fact-
laughs at that, and she takes the knife and she says, "Well, that's great. That's great. I could get a few bob for that." And she pops it on a shelf behind her, and then comes back to you and says, "All right, do the next one whilst I whip up a label for this."
Yeah,
Mm,
I'll take a look at the next one.
Yeah, as you reach in, you see you pull out what looks like a small decorative box of sorts, and you take a look inside, and it looks like the kind of box that you would looks like the kind of box that would have a ring in it, but doesn't have a ring in it.
Okay.
Do you open it before you attempt to identify?
You said it doesn't have a ring in it.
Open it. Open the box. What's in the
I
box?
don't want to open it. It might be cursed.
What's
I'm going to
in the...
identify it first.
I will open the box.
Okay, as you open the box, you see that indeed it doesn't have a ring in it, and it appears as though it has some lovely, like almost purple-looking, shiny velvet of sorts. Looks very plush on the inside.
Ooh. I will snap it shut and pass it back to the Piper. I was kind of hoping for a tiny mimic.
Oh, that would be fun now, wouldn't it? A pocket-sized mimic that you can just keep as a nice little pet. Anyway, let's see what it actually is.
Well, after you finish doing the identify, you learn that the effect of this box is that it removes the tarnish on any jewellery stored in it. So, yep. So that's what that does.
I'll pass it back to her. I'll say, you know what you said about those earrings and staying shiny?
Yeah.
This will do the same thing to any piece of jewellery so long as you store it inside this box.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm not selling this one. I'm going to keep it and use it.
I know. I would.
Yeah, and she takes that off your hands and sequesters it away underneath the counter.
Probably do any small pieces of silverware you've got as well.
Wonder if it does money, she says under her breath. So, as you reach into the box
Do I need
again,
to get the calipers out?
Calipers?
Sorry, what's next in the box?
Yes.
So, as you reach into the box again, you this time pull out what appears to be a singular shoe. And looking into the box again, you see that there does indeed appear to be a second shoe of similar make and design. And pulling that out as well, you get the impression they're probably a pair.
Okay, let's check them out.
As you identify them, you come to the realization that these are a pair of shoes that, when worn, impart silent walking upon whoever wears them. They do, however, have a very feminine appearance. They have a kind of it's almost like shiny, like lustrous green material that makes up these shoes.
Okay.
You get the
I'll,
impression that they'd be an excellent pairing for, say, going to a ball of sorts.
I'll pass them back, and I'll say, "I'll be careful you sell these two. These are silent shoes. Whoever's buying these probably doesn't want people to hear him sneaking up on them."
All right, so if you're walking around, they won't. Right. I get you. I get you.
You could sell them to a big lass that makes big, clumpy, loud sounds everywhere she goes.
She points at you and says, "That's exactly what I was gonna save him for."
Yep, there you go.
But do
Large
be
lass
careful.
sounds like an elephant. Job done.
Yeah, someone comes in, and they're a skinny lump, just looking for something to keep them quiet. Then they're looking at this stuff. Then they're probably up to no good.
Yeah, but if they're skinny, you can sell them any old tat and tell them they're move silently. They won't know the difference.
Right. What's next?
The fourth item that you pull out of the box of junk appears to be a decent sized. Well, it looks like a ruby, but the color's a bit off. In terms of its size, it looks well. There's no better metric than a baby's fist, and the actual cut of it is very rough. You get the impression that it's maybe it's been cut a small amount, but there hasn't been anything specific done to it. And aside from that, though, it does appear to be mostly clear.
Okay. What's going on with this one then?
Well, upon completing the identification, you get the impression that this one is actually quite valuable. And this is a special stone that you could speak a command word, and that command word can be chosen by whoever ends up using the stone prior to actually using its magical effect. And that magical effect is you throw it at the floor, and it instantly spawns an unaligned fire elemental.
Oh shit!
Do I know whether it's already been?
Is this a one?
Do I know whether it's already been assigned a command word?
No, it has yet to be assigned a command word.
Is this a one-off item, or you can do it repeatedly?
It's a one-off. You would throw it, it would summon the fire elemental, and in the process, the stone would shatter.
Right, I'll say, don't know if you want me to just throw this one in the bin. This here is a gemstone. It's a fairly cheap gemstone, but it's got a fantastic enchantment on it that makes it look like it's really expensive. They do this a lot in jewelries. They want to make it look like it's worth a lot at the same time as not really having to spend too much in materials. The enchants get a little bit on the side, you know?
Oh! Roll me a deception check, Kiki.
I'll give her advantage
Okay.
on that.
Thanks for the advantage.
Excellent. I assume you provide that advantage by just nodding along and agreeing.
Yeah, I've heard of such stories myself. In fact, very nearly fell foul. In fact, I will tell them a story of how I fell foul to exactly that issue myself, and ended up with some right old tat. But live and learn.
Well, she looks genuinely put down at the that story that you say, and she puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "Oh, bless," and then says, Give it to your friend there. At least he'll be able to keep it as a memoir."
Oh, you're such a kind soul. Thank you so much. And I'll hand it over. What's next?
Well, they can't all be winners, she says as she looks on in interest as you pull out a brooch.
No, but
As
sometimes you
you-
hit the jackpot. Let's see what this one is.
Yeah, I'm going to pocket that fire
This-
rifle. phone.
This brooch appears to have a kind of butterfly-like aesthetic going on. You can quite easily tell that all of the various coloured jewels and such, it's all just coloured glass. And whilst it looks like it's made of gold, close examination reveals that there's a bit of tarnish here and there with that characteristic copper look to it. You know, it's got that patina. It's imitation at best. But as you examine it, you are eventually revealed to the true nature of this item, and it is effectively a familiar.
Oh,
You would speak a command word, and then for as long as it survives, the butterfly would become animated, and the actual butterfly itself functions as the spell Find Familiar.
well, I'll. Has the command word already been set?
The command word has been set, but it has not been said. And that command word is look, what's the Latin for the study of butterflies?
You know what? Regardless, I will just write it down. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper. And I'm going to pass it back to.
Lepidopterology.
Right. It's just lepido.
Okay. But yeah, I'll write the word down on a piece of paper and I'll hand it back to her and I'll say, "Told you might find a winner. This one, you may not even want to sell. You've heard of, what do you know of wizards?"
Oh, the guy who usually does the identifies a wizard.
See other familiar?
What's a familiar?
Like a little creature that follows him round. Does odd jobs for him. You can see
He's
through its eyes.
Oh yeah. He's got something like that. It's he's got this lovely little black cat that he has that was always on his shoulder.
You ever wanted one yourself? Familiar, that is, not particularly the cat in this case.
Thought about it. I
That
do have
word
a cat at
there.
home.
That word there is a command word, which is assigned to this item. Whoever speaks that command word will animate it, and so long as it doesn't get destroyed, someone doesn't do something nasty to it, they'll have a companion for as long as they want it.
Is it a fixed familiar as a butterfly?
It is fixed as a butterfly, yes. However, it is not. It does not look like a standard butterfly. It literally looks like the thing being held.
Oh.
But yeah, up to you. If you want to sell this to someone who wants a familiar, then go ahead. But I don't know. I think having a friend around the shop could be nice. Keep an eye on pesky people who might be trying to steal things. You know.
I'll give it some thought. You know.
I'll be back.
I'll have to ask.
Don't leave that piece of paper. Keep that paper with it. That's the command word, and don't let anyone who's trying to buy it see it, because they just need to speak it, and then it's theirs.
Oh, right. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Right. Okay then. She takes the paper and she pockets it, and she takes the butterfly and she pops it on a shelf somewhere that you can see she struggles to reach, but she manages to slip the butterfly into that spot. And well, Essig, Coach just muted himself, but Essig would be able to easily spot this butterfly on said shelf, but the rest of you aren't able to see it once it goes on there, due to the height difference.
Right.
And
I think that was the last item, wasn't it?
it wasn't.
Or do we have one more?
There's one more.
Okay.
And as you reach into there, you see a tube of sorts.
Okay.
I suppose the best way to describe it would be that it looks vaguely like one of those wafer coffee straws, except made of wood.
Right. Okay. Let's take a look at it.
Once you are finished identifying it, you are able to come to the realization that this is a special enchanted straw that purifies any liquid that you suck through it, turning it into drinkable water.
Well, this'll go well for any adventurers coming to your shop. Do you get many adventurers this way?
Occasionally, usually just people looking to sell whatever they've managed to pick up along the road. That's what all this is.
Well, they may want to buy this one, to be honest. I mean, this straw, you put it in whatever you like. In fact, will it work on anything? Is it like, or just poisons? Did I put it in like ink and drink water?
No. What it would do is it would effectively anything. So say for example, if you were to take a cup of swamp water, if you were to put the straw into the cup and then drink it until you stop receiving any kind of liquid at all, it would leave just the things that were dissolved and mixed in with the swamp water, whilst removing all of the water itself.
Okay. Well, this will let you drink out of a swamp or a puddle or whatever you like with this, and you're never going to be short of water. This'll keep you well hydrated and take all the toxins out of whatever it is you're trying to drink.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, like a survival thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that was everything. So that's an hour of your time. Thank you very much. And yeah, you can keep these. And she hands you the earrings.
Do you think you'd be able to bust a quick identify out on the earrings whilst you're at it?
I think we have other places to be for now. We can do these back at the tavern, but for now,
Well,
we've been here an hour.
You said you've lost your pearl. Go ahead and do that one here. You can use my pearl again. Just another 10 minutes.
You know what? All right. Let's do it.
Let's have a look at the earrings. She takes the big box and she brings it back into the other room. And by the time you've finished identifying the earrings, you find out that this one actually has 2 enchantments on it. The first is, as described on the label, it will remain perpetually lustrous and will repel anything approaching dirt, tarnish, always shiny. The second enchantment is far more interesting. Whilst they appear to be a pair, these 2 earrings are intended to be worn by 2 separate individuals. Whenever 2 different individuals wear these earrings, by simply touching the earring, you are able to immediately communicate any thoughts to the other person wearing the other earring. However, each one consumes an attunement slot.
I'll look up to her. I'll say, "Well, thank you for the loan of the pearl. Your wizard friend knows his stuff."
Well, Jerome's been a favourite of mine for as long as I've known him.
So they're basically like spy earpiece type sort of things.
Yeah, I'm not telling her that.
No.
Yeah, she's quite happy with the service that you've provided her and the payment rendered as such.
I'll make a point of very openly returning the pearl to her, and leave with thanks, as it were.
Righto. So you managed to net yourself a nice pair of magical items and even made a friend in the process. How's that?
Brilliant.
I tell you what. I'll tell you what. No, I don't want to. I'm not trying to sort of push your services or anything like that. We're in town for a few weeks. Well, for a few days at least. We're going to be putting on a performance. You know, this, that, and the other. Trying to make a bit of cash before we go on our way. We're going to be heading out. What's the town up to the north? The city up to the north. We'd heard good things about it. We were heading that way.
She scratches her head. Warrenheim, the capital.
That's the one. We were heading that way, but we're putting together some funds before then. You know, we're in the Hog's Head.
Right.
We're staying at the Hog's Head. If you ever need our services, or you know, if there's anything we can do for you, by all means, give us a shout.
Righto. I had no idea where that is, but I'm sure I can ask around. The name's Betty, by the way, Bettina, and she holds out a hand to shake.
I'll shake it warmly.
Yeah, she gives you a big warm smile and fluffs out her hair to somehow being even bigger than what it was previously. Like this woman, she has the silhouette of a mortar shell. Let's just put it that way.
Jesus, that's a description and a half.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that. But yes, she's quite happy with these new friends that she's made, and she gives you all a nice warm smile and a wave as you make your way out of the shop. Unless there's anything else you want to do whilst you're in here.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think we're good. And leaving the shop, I'd like to ask how my little friends did.
Indeed, you had unseen servants traipsing around. So, describe to me in exact words the commands that they would have been given.
They were to discreetly allow should they find one, a pearl of at least 100 gold in value to fall off a shelf and catch it silently before it hits the floor, and to allow it to roll out and keep watch of it in a crack in the pavement outside. I mean, to retrieve.
Right.
Cunning.
Okay. So, as
I think she was deeply distracted.
Oh, she was most definitely distracted. I would like you to roll for me a d4. If you manage to roll a 4, something good will happen. If you roll a 1, something bad might happen.
Okay, let's roll you a d4.
You rolled a 2, so that's something average. As you make your way out of the area, you manage to see a small bit of shiny thing tucked into a small crack between a pair of paving stones. And reaching down to take a closer look, you see that you do indeed appear to have found a pearl. But the size of it isn't anything to go home about. It's no bigger than, say, half an inch across. You would estimate it to be 15 gold at best.
You know what? That's the start of smashing one together. Right.
So yes, from this little haul, you've managed to net yourself a 15 gold piece, pearl, a gemstone that, upon speaking a to be determined command word, will summon an unaligned fire elemental. I will note that down. If you summon this thing, it's not going to be happy, and it doesn't consider anybody around it to be friends.
Awesome. Perfect.
Okay. Just to make that clear.
Oh, yeah, no.
And you've got a pair of earrings that can be used for long distance communication. You are unsure if there are any limitations on it, but from what you were able to gather, it appears as though there isn't.
I'm noting
Okay.
down Gem of Chaotic Fire Elemental. Um,
And I'm noting down earrings of communication.
Yep.
Hmm.
How many alignment things do we take? I forget, it's 3, isn't it?
Alignment?
Attunement, sorry.
Do you? Ah, yes, attunements. Yes, you. Each player gets a total of 3 attunement slots.
Hello again.
Welcome back.
Hello, Coatrack. So, who? I need to pop to the loo for a moment. In the meantime, relay to Coatrack what he just missed.
Okay, Coat. First of all, I put most of the items that were being identified during that in the notes that are in the thingy, the journal. Essentially, Kiki's just spent an hour identifying a bunch of stuff and earned herself a pair of earrings, which are basically you know spy earpieces that they stick in their ear and one person can talk to another person over long distance.
Okay.
Basically they're those. You get a pair of earrings, one person wears one, another person wears the other, and they can then talk to each other over distance. So kind of groovy for spy ops. In the process, Kiki identified a knife of toasting, a ring box of cleaning whatever is in the ring box, a pair of silent walking shoes that are kind of girly looking, and a butterfly familiar, which is like a stone in the shape of a butterfly that you use a command word on, and it becomes a butterfly familiar that the shops now got identified. They also had a knobbly poop shaped white pearl of identify in there.
I remember the shit pearl.
The shit pearl.
And we found a crappy gemstone that was enchanted to look valuable.
Oh yes, we did find a crappy yes, which actually was a red stone that is a gem of chaotic fire elemental that is unaligned. So you throw it down, say the word, and a fire elemental that hates everything around it, including you, will happen. Basically, the fire elemental variant of a grenade.
Ah.
Mr. Grenade is nobody's friend, remember. When the pin is pulled, doesn't matter who made it. It hates everybody.
What's everyone else doing? We've left there. I've done what I wanted to do. We've done the.
Let's go and put on a performance back at the Hog's Head. See if we can't earn a few pennies. I'm going to add. I'm gonna put a side note in the journal. Kitty for con job. Which so far there is 10 gold pieces in that's communal. We need to get that to 100 before we can go ahead with the con job. As I said, I've got 70 gold. Well, I've got 79 gold total. If I run out of, if I, so I can do the job myself, but close to. But I would rather it be a more even split. That way, shared risk, shared reward, etc. But
Right. So, you mentioned that you were going to spend the evening heading back to the Hogshead and setting up a performance of sorts.
Yep.
Okie dokie. As you are making your way back through the city, you notice that the day has progressed rather promptly for the most part. All this travelling back and forth from region to region seems to take its toll on the amount of daylight hours, it seems. And between that and the hour you spent in the magic shop and the alchemist shop, by this point you would estimate it to be somewhere in the realm of 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening. I'd like everybody to roll me. Ooh, we just lost Ez. I guess he went unconscious.
Rip.
Yeah. Oh well. So, I would like each of you to roll me perception checks, please.
Okay.
Unfortunately, two of the party members at this point are in a zombified state.
Can I have advantage?
Why?
Look at her rolls.
You know what? Just this once, sure, why not?
I don't want advantage. I don't need advantage. Oh, flex.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to be mean. Kiki, because you asked, you get disadvantage.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I just gave you those earrings effectively for free. This is just karma. Karma. What about you, Coatrack?
Huh?
I've asked for perception checks.
Oh, right.
Oof.
So, that's unfortunate. So I suppose in this case, Robert would be the only person to have glanced a look up at the sky during your walk back through the city. Spotting, first of all, a rather impressive looking set of clouds that seemingly are being shone upon by the beginning to set sun, and produce a rather impressive myriad of colours. But what really strikes your eye, though, is the rather impressive airship that is currently making its way towards the Sky Harbour. So, most of the airships can best be described as balloons with craft strapped to the bottom of them, somewhat similar to the ones that you are able to see in the artwork depicted here. However, this one is noteworthy for the fact that it has an entirely different design. It looks more like the entire thing is sheathed in armor, glistening gold and riveted across its entirety. The fact that this thing can fly at all, you strongly suspect there's probably some degree of magical influence here. And as it is floating across the city, you spot that there are a few other people in the area who are seemingly taking a look up and pointing at it, and there's a few open mouths of not exactly shock, but surprised at what they're seeing. All in all, you get the impression that you're probably spotting a either rare or perhaps even impressive sight. But that said, if there's nothing you want to do with that information, we can carry on.
I will point to that and go, ooh, look at that. That's badass. What colour is it?
It appears to be somewhere between brass and gold, but looking at it, it's odd. It appears to not have a shadow.
Oh. Does it look anything like this?
Nothing quite that large. You would estimate it to be somewhere in the realm of, say, large building, but not aircraft carrier. In fact, give me a moment. I shall show you precisely what you're looking at. That should have shifted you over to it. Are you able to get a good look at that?
Hold on a second.
Has rolled to what?
Let me. Ooh, okay. I can zoom out.
Ez, to answer your question that you typed out there, basically, the party has acquired a few bits and pieces of magical trinkets and such, whilst identifying a whole bunch of other tat and junk. But probably the most significant thing in the little magical haul is, first of all, a pair of earrings that can be used for long distance communication. And secondly, and arguably more importantly, what effectively amounts to chaos in a can.
The fire elemental version of a hand grenade.
You got a fire elemental in a can.
A fire elemental
Yeah.
in a gem that I can basically throw on the floor, say a word, which hasn't been discussed, which we don't know yet, and a very angry, I hate everything fire elemental will appear.
Oh,
That doesn't
it
sound
is
dangerous.
it's worth pointing out that command word. The reason why you don't know it is because it hasn't been set yet.
Right. Do we
How do
know
you
how
set
to
it?
set it?
Yep, it's literally just you hold it, you impart upon the gem your will to set a command word, and then you speak aloud the command word.
Okay. Okay. Fair
I'm
enough.
really tempted to immediately set it word actually.
Actually, bang! Yeah. Well, perhaps using a command word that has such common usage may not be the best idea.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of using it on a Karen, basically.
So yes, the reason why I've moved you over to this view is because the party, as they were traveling back through the city to the Hogshead to put on a performance, Robert looked up and spotted a rather impressive sight. An airship that is quite far diverged from the design of what is typically in the sky of Varpak, and instead looks as though it is almost military in design and is noteworthy for the somewhat subtle fact that, despite the fact that it is clearly in the sun, it doesn't appear to cast any form of shadow on itself. By the way, Trig, we are able to hear your breathing through your mic. I think you might need to move it a little bit further away from your nose.
I will move it back, yeah. Sorry, my bad. That's not good.
Right there. I'm not sure how long we've been able to hear it, but it has been a while.
Oh, please let me know, because it's a mic that goes under my and also almost under my nose. So yes, it's very easy for that to happen.
Ah, fair enough. So
yeah, same thing happened to me earlier.
Yeah.
If there's nothing that you want to do besides heading straight towards the Hog's Head to put on a performance, then we can skip straight there if you want.
Let's do that. I mean, we've got a range of songs that I've been putting together. They are fairly well practiced. So, do we want to do the Tale of the Gods or whatever? We could do. Which for
Yeah,
anyone
let's
listening,
Very well do so.
yeah.
Let's run the Tale of the Gods, and let's put on an illusory display to show. Should we do the tale of what was the sea god again?
The song related to the god of the seas, Charybdis.
Yes.
Charybdis. Let's do the Charybdis, and we'll open with the Charybdis, and we'll do like some of those dark stars in the background, make it really, really atmospheric, and we'll move through them all. We'll lighten up to like a god of light or something.
Yeah, because we know what they look like. We can do them as a basically simple cantrip of thingy. God,
Minor illusion.
brain work. Thank you. Minor illusion. Yes.
Ah.
There we go. Yeah, we can do a bunch of minor illusions. Have some dark stars up there. Whack out the song or two. Done a bunch of songs of the gods of creation, all of which are in the playlist. In the wrong order at the moment. I need to sort that out. But they're there. As an idea of what we're going to be doing.
Righto. So. Much better. So once you've managed to head back to the Hog's Head, I imagine you're going to do something similar to what you did when you were over at Nobble's Gate. So basically doing a prep part.
Yep.
So obviously each of you are going to be in charge of doing a separate part, and you've already described how one of those parts of prep is going to be throwing up and preparing a case of minor illusion. Hello?
Two things.
Uh-huh.
You are keeping my away.
Oh, sorry.
And you will be.
I gave that back to you.
Sorry?
I already gave that back to you.
That was previous. Even at meats and various.
Oh, right, okay.
The second
Ah, fair enough. Okay, I think I might have £15 here. Give me a moment. Sorry, guys, give me a moment.
maybe close the door.
Sure, I'll just get you that money when I find my wallet. There it is.
Make sure to leave a tip. We've got we've
don't
launched
have
our
the cash on me
Patreon, so if you can put a tip through, that'll help pay off Ginger's
close the
gambling
door.
debt.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
for our viewer, by all means, yeah. Buy us a cup of coffee. Will help. Ginger's whatever that is.
How many viewers do we have right now?
Oh.
I'm one of the two viewers.
Well, that's it. We have two, so somebody's watching it.
Ah, brilliant.
Hi, viewer. Hope you're enjoying the show. It's not me. It might well be one of the rest of you. I don't know, but
I'm quite impressed. We have a viewer. We're famous.
yeah.
No.
Wonder if it's Coat's alt account. Now we will, yeah. So one of us is going to need to do drums because we still don't have a drummer. We thought we were going to get a drummer, but we got a triangle player instead.
Hang on though, because what kind of triangles can you play? Can you play any triangles?
I mean, it is
It is
percussion.
the triangle.
It is percussion. We might be able to set him up with a drum kit in triangular format.
Yeah, if we assembled a big triangle of drums, would you be able to
Well,
play?
before you go any further into that line of logic, Coatrack, bards typically are proficient in more than just one type of musical instrument. When you were setting up your character, how many musical instrument proficiencies did you have available to you, and how many did you assign?
It doesn't look like I signed any.
Interesting.
Weak.
Well, we should probably lock that in. So, let's find out first of all how many proficiencies you get as a bard.
I thought it was 3, was it? Or I don't know if there is.
You should get 3 musical instruments as a bard. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why we skipped over that. Huh. Oh.
Let's see. Yep, 3 musical instruments of your choice. So one of them will be the triangle.
Triangle? Yes.
I kind of find it funny if it turns out he doesn't actually have with triangle. And all along we've just been golf clapping.
Well, lock in what your remaining musical instrument varieties are, and we'll have that as what you were able to bring to the band. And if one of them just so happens to be drums, well, wouldn't that be convenient, hey?
I did type that, but I think I'll take it. But no, I'm just kidding. That's fine.
I want my lute eventually to turn into something like this, but that's because I like Les Paul guitars.
You could go with like all mean instruments, like the triangle, maybe a tomatone.
The lock and
I think maybe an oboe. Maybe like an oboe.
Slide whistle.
Fucking hell.
Slide whistle. That was what I was trying to think of. That's exactly what I was trying to think of for a second there.
I used to fucking play the oboe. That thing fucking knocked me unconscious. They are so bloody difficult to play. It's untrue.
Let me give you another suggestion there, Coatrack. If you want pure mean potential as your third musical instrument, didgeridoo.
Triangle, slide whistle, and didgeridoo.
That is my standing plans actually. Yep, that'll be it.
What's the one that you just blow into and like make different vibrating tones? You get the kazoo.
Kazoo.
Oh, maybe I'll do that instead of slide whistle actually, because maybe that's what I was trying to think of actually.
Triangle, slide whistle, and didgeridoo.
That
is the most niche set of musical instrument proficiencies possible, isn't it?
Yeah, slide whistle has a bit more meme potential than a kazoo, even though kazoo sounds fun.
So what do you mean kazoo? You could always go with a tuba and just follow fat people around.
Kazoos have so much meme potential.
Oh wait, no, I didn't want the didgeridoo. It's kind of interesting, but
I feel like the tuba should have a minimum strength requirement to be proficient in.
Okay, that's it. Triangle, slide whistle, kazoo.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Can a kazoo be made of wood?
Yes.
Certainly.
Oh, that's the other one I was trying to think of. Recorder. Yeah. But being the instrument that no one ever plays.
I think all that matters for kazoo is the shape, so you can get the standing wave.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, look at that. That's a wooden kazoo. Okay, so who is going to be in charge of doing the minor illusion renderings for the visual parts of this concert? Whoever it is needs to roll a dice.
Someone else do the minor illusions. I want to do a a full-on illusion so I can get some animation to it. I'm going to actually spend a spell slot on it.
Ooh, okay.
Right. Well, I will say that when it comes to the artistic depictions of visual format, that's what this is. The check that I would most recommend for achieving good results would probably be either nature, arcana, or possibly perception. For how good you were able to get a look at the damn thing.
Fucking nose flute. Okay. I normally do the minor illusion for the drum background, so I will do a roll for that. So we've got the backing drums because that's the only thing we're really missing as a as part of the performance.
Right.
I
So
wonder,
Drake's got
Ginger,
the yes.
Ginger, would I be able to create a sort of like metronome drum system? I guess the real question is, will it be medium or smaller, and will it be 60 GP or less?
You'd definitely be able to produce a simple mechanism of that variety for less than 60 gold.
I'm just
And
thinking if I can create
Hmm.
basically a drum with some sort of clockwork mechanism to do the drum bass line we're going for, then that frees up Trig's illusion.
Well, I've just rolled the performance for that illusion. If you can beat 24 with
I don't have to roll for this, do I?
Hang on, because before we confirm anything, we are all bards, and we can all give each other bardic inspiration on top of that.
We can.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take
my
mine.
question is,
yeah.
I will say you can definitely do it, but the quality of it will depend on your role. If you literally just want something that will do 3 drums and then a snare hit, then 3 drums and then a snare hit, you can do something along those lines. But if you want to be able to create an automated drum kit that could do something a little bit more complicated, I would say roll me a skill or a stat of your choice and describe to me the logic that Khadgar is going through to achieve such a creation.
Let's think. It'll probably be performance because I actually have to play music to create it.
Yep.
So
that makes sense. Yep.
And I wonder, would I be able to get advantage on this given I play bass, so I know bass sounds?
Do you want a bardic? Do you want a bardic inspiration on this?
Oh, that would be nice.
Have a bardic inspiration.
Okay, you're not rolling mine, check.
Here we go.
We've got 4 each, so we just. Well, I've got 4. You know, we'll just make sure everyone's got bardic inspiration to look at.
To answer your earlier question, what were you saying, Kiki?
Are we all also giving each other advantage?
Yeah.
Are we all performing now?
In the case of Khadgar, only
work
his song is actually able to go into the creation of this automated drum kit. So I'd say that he isn't able to get advantage on this. However, for the most part, unless it's something that specifically only your variety of bard can do, you should be able to give each other advantage on things through collaborative efforts and such.
Awesome.
Yes, go ahead and roll the d6 for your bardic inspiration there, Ez.
Okay. I think I got a 13.
Yeah.
It's not very impressive.
It's not. We're going to stick with my 24 with performance on the illusion.
Add my bardic inspiration.
What, on top of my 24?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that then. 25.
25.
Still,
you go.
Still freaking great.
Hang on. But you're a halfling.
Oh, you're right. I am 28.
No, the one only counts when rolling a d20.
You're right. It does. I'm lucky.
Oh,
Does
can you
it?
reroll a? Yeah.
Does it?
There's
Can you roll
specific
a
checks
one?
that it applies to. It's not even
No.
universally
No, when you
20s, I
roll
think.
when you roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw,
Yeah,
you can re-roll the
Those are all
die.
D20s, True.
that's what I said. That's
Those
what
are
I said.
D20s.
Specific rolls.
Yeah.
When on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Yep.
So that's the performance check.
Yep.
The one that you rolled wasn't a performance check.
No,
that
it
was
was
the
on a
bardic inspiration.
25 is still 5 over a 20. So yes,
It is.
that's pretty good. We got some
Yeah.
kick-ass drums.
It's
Yes,
one more
when it
than you
comes-
would have had. It's slightly better.
When it comes to doing re-rolls and things of that nature, just rule of thumb: if it's a d20, it works. If it's not a d20, it doesn't work.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Easiest way to figure out what it applies to.
All right. Well, in which
So-
case, can I use my roll then to, I don't know, create a disco ball instead?
Sure, I'll allow that.
May as well use it for something.
I would say you are able to whip up a disco ball that has silver leaf mirrors going along each of the faceted surfaces. You're even able to get something that isn't even particularly heavy, such that it's able to be suspended off of a roof beam.
Something tall, like Coatrack or Motch's character.
Indeed.
Right.
What?
So,
Well, you're playing a tall character, Code. Didn't you know that?
Oh, I missed part of what you said there. And yes.
He was proposing hanging a disco ball off of you.
Ah.
Yes.
you could hang the triangle off of the disco ball and still play it.
Or the other way around.
I'm going to do a performance, if possible, for a not a minor illusion, a silent image, so that I can, in the background, weave an image relevant to the music, like a battle between the gods, or the dark stars, or an approximate, in order to move and flow with the music and match the tone as we move through our sets.
Sure. Are you going to be dedicating all of your spell slots to this? Because bear in mind, Silent Image, I believe it only lasts for 10 minutes, and typically a concert lasts a bit longer than that.
Let's have a look at our spells. I have.
Post it if you could.
Can't you ritual cast it whilst playing music?
It's not a ritual, but it is indeed 10 minutes. I've got 4 spell slots. I can.
I also
can
know
extend
Silent
it.
Image,
Yeah,
Right,
I can do it
okay.
for 40 minutes.
and I can add 40 to that. Well,
Mhm.
no, wait. You can use second level spell slots on it as well, technically.
So you should have
I
6.
can.
That's right.
Yeah.
It
If you
doesn't
had
seem like
second
there's
level-
any particular benefit to that relative to that, but
But if it's a
You-
performance just before going to bed, essentially, and having a long rest, you may as well give yourself the full hour.
Yeah. Well, I'll go as long as needed for the sets.
Okay, since you're spending spell slots on this, I'm going to say that you can achieve precisely what you're aiming for. Go ahead and roll the performance check in order to determine how much better on top of expected you were able to achieve.
Brilliant. I'm guessing I've got someone's
Would you
bardic
like
inspiration.
Inspiration, Kiki.
Yes, please.
All right, I will
That's
give you some bardic inspiration. Mine lets you re-roll if you don't like the first roll, by the way.
Oh, awesome. And do I have advantage like everyone else? I
would
don't
say
need
so,
it.
yeah.
Hey, Ginger, sorry to interrupt, but I am being asked if we will be done in about 45 minutes, which I don't think is
Let's
the
have a
case,
three.
but will we?
I can wrap up all major events within 45 minutes and then just simply go with what effectively amounts to filler content once you're gone.
Because I can definitely stay 75 minutes, I'm just being asked whether or not I'll be done in 45.
We can be done in 45 if you're being pushed.
Alright, got it.
We'll do the performance, and then I'll hit on any wannabe fucking groupies in the crowd. You don't need to be there for that.
Unfortunately, I do.
It's alright, I have invisibility. I will cast it on anybody that is getting between me and the totty. Excuse me, is this person bothering you? Invisibility. He's gone.
With a total of 26, you are indeed able to achieve quite the bonus there. I would say, in addition to being able to produce a variety of these dark star-like creatures that go floating about in ominous fashion about the minor illusions space, you're even able to create almost like animatic style renditions of the battles that your party ended up having against one of these dark stars on the riverbank. And of course, you embellish the events of said combat so that it amounts to more than just it flailing randomly, striking people, and then eventually blowing itself up.
Fantastic. Who's next?
So, we've covered what Cardgar is doing. He's doing a disco ball and is otherwise going to be playing his musical instrument. Bobby is going to be doing what exactly? Oh yes, the backing drums, as well as
lead guitar
singing.
and singing. Yeah.
Yep. Did you actually end up rolling a performance? Ah, yes, I see you did.
Yeah, 25.
Yep,
It was
very
24
good.
plus 1.
Piper has gone. So what's Essig doing?
Sorry, so this is in the performance or whatever? Or was this something else?
So what?
I was dealing with something.
So what we're doing right now is we're discussing how the party is going to be increasing the entertainment value of the concert that they're putting together at the Hogshead Inn.
Oh, yeah. Well, part of my job was, as necessary, I'll throw in silent images.
Okay, so you're
I can
going
fill
to
in
be you're going to be using silent images in order to continue whatever it is that Piper ends up doing. I won't make you roll for that.
Yeah. Well, it's just a spell, yeah.
However, like with Piper, if you want to roll a performance check to see if you're able to muster up anything on top of what you were for additional embellishment, go ahead.
Would this be separate from my performance check of just doing my instrument?
It would be, yes.
All right. Okay, so do I have a bardic inspiration from anyone?
That's a good question. Who is donating their bardic inspiration to Coatrack?
I will donate a bardic inspiration to Coatrack.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll your performance check. Jesus. Okay, and the bardic inspiration is a 1d6 to a total of 30. Right, okay. So, between Piper and Essig, you guys are able to have quite the visual display being used to enhance the overall effect of the performance. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and note down in the D&D room the checks that you guys got. So that's Essig equals 30. Go on.
Would it be safe to say that anybody who hasn't had a very expensive drink from behind the bar might think that they have done?
Honestly, entirely possible. This is if you guys manage to keep up this level of performance, you guys are going to end up blowing away the occupants of the Hogshead. We're hearing a lot of noises from your end again, Trig.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, Cardguard got a 13. And Robert got a 25. Okay, so 30 plus 26 plus 13 plus 25 equals 94, divided by 4 equals an average of a 23.5 on your performance checks. Well done, everybody.
Nice.
Okay. With that said, I would say all of the performance checks that you roll for the actual concert itself end up occurring with advantage due to the excellent prep work that you've put into place. So, the night comes, there's a variety of people who have been informed by the various bar workers that there's going to be some rather impressive live music from a newly formed band playing tonight. You have not as much of an audience as what was at the Nobles Gate Inn, but you still definitely have a lot of eyes and ears trained on you. Each of you roll me a performance check with advantage and presumably with bardic inspiration at the same time in order to determine just how good each aspect of the performance is. And in the process, describe to me what your character does.
I'm just going to say I'm going to use my bardic inspiration on Trig, which means he's going to have some musical notes flying around him. And Trig, if you don't like the roll, you can re-roll it again.
Oh, okay. Is that part of your...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have an upgraded bardic inspiration.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, whatever you roll, even if it's like a 5, you can roll again and take whichever one you prefer.
In that case, I will send my bardic inspiration over to Coat. I don't have anything flash with my bardic inspiration. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll pass mine on to Kiki.
Okay. And
Okay, and presumably Kiki's bardic inspiration goes to Cardgar.
or actually to Motch, and then Motch is to...
I was muted, but yes, I said, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, due to the fact that Motch isn't present, yeah,
Not there. Fair enough.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
No.
there's no additions of talent from the round-eared tall man.
Groovy.
So-
Okay. God, take it away. Tell us what you're doing, dude.
Ez, what does Cardgar actually do as part of the main performance?
Well, I don't have any spells really to use, and I've used my creation. So ahead of the performance, I'm going to have borrowed a ladder to fit the disco ball to the rafters. I suppose I need to roll Dex for that.
No, I'd say just you're able to spend the time to get it done properly. You don't need to roll in order to properly affix a disco ball.
Are you sure? I mean, I've only got a -1 in Dex.
If it comes down to it, the bar staff are able to lend a hand.
Okay.
No, I thought you were asking about what people were doing actually during the performance.
I have no spells or abilities to add to the performance directly, so I'm just there doing the bass line on the ear splitter.
So go ahead and roll the performance that you make to determine just how good your musical your musical notations are.
All right.
The playing of the ear splitter.
And I guess
So yep,
inspiration.
that's
Yes.
yep. You get your bardic inspiration, and bear in mind
Oh,
because you got such a high value on the prep work, all of these actual performance checks are with advantage. So that's not a 19, that's a 26.
even better.
Okay, so a kick-ass bass segment is backed up by what exactly? Who's rolling next?
Usually the bass is doing the backing up.
Yep.
Well, potentially not with that high roll.
Go on, Trig, throw in some lead.
No. I need a few seconds to bring something up, and
Okay.
then I will tell you the tale.
In that case,
Okay.
I will follow through the track. I will bring in the lows with my horn, and for like foreboding moments of the tracks, and I'll bring in the lighter tones as well with my pan flute, and when necessary, I'll come in for a combat solo, as it were, against the Dark Stars with my bagpipes. Something that matches with the tone of the music as a matches the tone of the music and complements the rest of the group. And while I'm doing it, I would like to keep an eye out for any members of public who look particularly hyped or particularly members of public. Gods, I'm work mode. Members of audience who are in either particularly hyped or particularly wealthy looking, and I would like to attempt to charm them and encourage them to be as generous as they can be with tips, at the same time as hyping things out occasionally outside of the venue to bring in a bigger crowd.
Right, I see. So this is, let me give this a quick read over. You perform at least 1 minute. Okay.
That's a powerful freaking move you've pulled there.
So I can do 3 people with that.
Yep, up to your charisma modifier, which is your charisma is
3.
what exactly?
17.
Perfect. Yep, so that's up to 3 people. Speaks idolizes you and speaks glowing of you to anyone who talks to it. Aha, okay. So basically you magically convert people into groupies.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to secretly, behind the veil of the DM screen, roll some values to see if anybody is able to resist. So what are they rolling against? What's your spell? What's your
It's
spell save
only a
DC?
13, but if they fail, they don't realize they've been that someone's attempted to charm them.
Righto. First up,
Even
we
if they
have
succeed, they don't know at the end.
okay. There's one result. There's another result. And a third result. Okay, so the first individual that you attempt to charm in this manner is a man of reasonable wealth, and appears to be really getting into the idea of just throwing a whole bunch of additional money at you until seemingly either a partner, wife, girlfriend, or something along those lines literally slaps him out of it, and he only hands over a few little bits and pieces of gold dropped onto the front of the stage for you. However, the next 2 individuals are a pair of somewhat somewhat young and affluently dressed individuals. A man and a woman, both human, who appear to be dressed in what can best be described as intentionally audacious clothing. Like they are actively trying to put across that they have money. Something which I'm sure they are soon going to regret because they both fall under the spell. I will describe to you precisely what happens there afterwards. So, that's done. Go ahead and roll the performance check for your actual playing of a musical instrument. Remember,
Okay.
you have automatic advantage because of the prep work, and you also have additional bardic inspiration.
I'm gonna use my one of my charges of lucky on that one. That's
Charges of
The look-
lucky?
Are you talking about the lucky feat?
yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Nice.
Okay. So that's a 17. And for bardic inspiration, that comes up to a 22.
The lucky feet as well. Nice.
I said no.
Yes.
Lucky bard. Sorry, lucky halfling is mad.
Yeah.
That's wow. Got Ez with silvery bobs and you with lucky. Christ.
Reminds me of a rather entertaining build that I've seen. A lucky halfling with the divination wizard school, who has the ability to presage rolls with portent rolls. Effectively, you play the game, but you just remove all aspects of chance by just perpetually rolling well constantly. Just the luckiest son of a bitch ever. Also occasionally fireball.
I might need to be able to do that, given the roles I've been getting in this game so far.
It's a feat you can take, dude.
You wouldn't think my skill, my stat block is like one of the best ones of the group. How I'm rolling.
It's
Yeah,
Kiki, I
my
do have to
stats
ask,
don't even.
how is it that you got access to that feat?
I can't remember. I picked it from the character monster.
Odd.
Yeah, because at level 3, that is strange.
At this level, I can't see I don't know of any sources that would give you the lucky feat.
Track it down. In fact, I will track it down for you again and
Yes.
see what's happened there. Because
We'll worry
I'm
about
looking
that
as
after
well.
the session. We'll worry about that after the session. So, Piper's music ends up coming out to a total 22. Coatrack, go ahead and do your own performance check. Describe what it is that you end up doing during the actual performance night itself.
For dramatic effect, I'm going to roll the inspiration first. 3 inspiration.
Delightful.
So, as he starts to feel a bit of inspiration, I'm gonna see the roll to decide how I'm gonna describe this.
Okay.
28.
Jeez.
All right. As he midway through the or I guess near the end of the performance, as he's continuing to use his wonderful triangle, he has a revelation of a new idea. He pulls out the slide whistle, starts playing it and using it to tap the triangle. For a new musical experience none had ever experienced before.
Interesting. Okay. Now, to my knowledge, a slide whistle is a two-handed instrument, and so is a triangle. So how exactly are you doing this mechanically?
I'm holding one in each hand. The triangle itself is one-handed, and I described that I'm using the other instrument to tap the triangle.
I was going to say, a triangle itself is no-handed. It just needs to be hung. The implement you strike it with is the one-handed thing.
I suppose, yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. You did get a whopping 28. So, effectively, dual-wielding musical instruments, Essig is able to turn what would normally be considered an almost comical level of music ineptitude into something that is genuinely impressive and actively wows the members of the audience. So, what does the lead of the band, the face of the party, Robert, do?
The face of the party, Robert. Well, he's going to make his rolls, and then he is going to rock forth the void of the deep. Charybdis, forth to rise from the seas of chaos. Charybdis came with a hunger so vast, god of water, greed and night. In the depths, he claims his might. An enemy of darkness, void and deep, where secrets hide and shadows creep. Greed and jealousy in his domain. In Charybdis' grasp, all is claimed. And I could
And
go on, but I've
presumably
also
the song
already made
continues
the
from
song.
there.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, and presumably the song continues from there.
The
as he did
song
with the,
rocks on. Yes.
Indeed.
And anyone that wants to listen to
So
it can
as-
actually find it. It's in the Void. It's called the Void, and it's not the best one. The best one. It was the God of Fire is the best one in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Ignatus.
Ignatus really's got some rock to it.
I don't know. They don't hold a candle to picking turnips.
I know you like the picking turnips one. You know what? I like the In the Heart of the Shire one. That's got some really nice chorus to it. We'll take a 21 on the performance. It's okay. It's not bad. What was it? D6 for the Bardic Inspiration.
I roll 2d6 because you get to pick the better one.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
regularly state that people who put in the extra effort during their role play get mechanical bonuses for making the extra effort. So I'm going to say you get both of those bardic inspirations.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's a 31 in that case.
Cool.
Very,
very impressive. So
you also have musical notes like flying around your head as you're singing.
And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to roll a perception for any willing and shall we say good targets for conquest during the performance and after. There's no point in going to bed in an empty bed if one could be warmed for you. 22. Is there any willing totty out there that is suitable for?
Indeed, you do find what appears to be a pair of twins who have attended this small concert with what is very obviously, from their demeanor and state of being, a damn good night out and a fair bit to drink.
Fantastic.
I will let you fill in the details.
I do not want to roleplay twins with you.
They are young and enthusiastic.
Fair play. Will I need to go and see a priest in the morning?
You probably should, regardless.
Yeah, it's always a good idea.
So, with that total, you ended up rolling a grand total of 107 between the four of you, which averages out to 26.75, which is even higher than what you got in Nobblesgate. I don't remember precisely what you came out to with the Nobblesgate performance, but it wasn't quite that high. I think it was somewhere in the 24-ish range.
I seem to remember 24, but yes, awesome. It's a big city too.
Indeed, it is. So, I'm going to say you managed to get a minimum of 10 times the total value that you achieved here in gold, which is, given that that is a 26.75 when averaged out, that'd be 267 and a half gold pieces. Let me just note that down for you. This is what you are able to make from the performance of the various people tossing money your way. Not quite as much money as what you made in Noble's Gate, but still a very respectable amount. And in addition to that, you also get a variety of people buying you drinks and tossing various bits and pieces at you as appreciation for a excellent time and an impressive performance, which, in terms of the amount of knickknacks and other bits and pieces get tossed your way, somebody roll me 3d10 to determine the amount of additional gold that you receive on top of the pure monetary value is tossed your way.
Anybody want to volunteer?
Yeah, let's do it.
I will
3d10.
say, this time round, Cardgar is not bombarded with coinage.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Dear Lord.
Okay. So an additional 5 gold pieces worth of effectively what amounts to junk and tat gets tossed your way.
Would I be able to bardically inspire this?
Oh.
I can't think of any reason why, but that result is pathetic. So what I'm going to say is yes.
I'm just gonna roll this. This doesn't count. Let's just see what happens if I'd done it. No, we'll take the 5. It's okay.
Kiki, you roll your bardic inspiration. Remember, you rolled 2 dice on this one.
Okay, so that is that's a 4, an additional 4, so 9.
It's a 9. There you go. It's a bit better.
Brilliant. Okay, so in addition to the 267 gold and 5 silver pieces that you managed to pick up from this, you also get an additional 9 gold pieces worth of random little bits of here and there, like notebooks and like just basically whatever it is that the goers in this tavern had in their pockets at the time they came to visit your performance.
Yeah, we also got the 2 gold from that rich guy.
Yep.
And how much gold did we get from the couple from the 2 wealthy guys again?
Well, once the performance comes to a close, you see that there is a pair of, as I said earlier, well-dressed individuals, 2 humans, a man and a woman, who appear to be in their early-ish 20s, mid-20s-ish. And as they make their way over to you, they make their way over to specifically Piper first and say, "That was absolutely incredible." It's the woman speaking, by the way. She goes out to she holds her hand out to shake and says, "Look, that whatever you were doing with that magic to get all of those horrible monsters to go around and the fighting and it was amazing. I've never seen anything like that." This is my brother. He's sorry. I'm drawing a blank.
You're a bard. You have to shag them both.
Oh no.
By the way, Tom is the brother. He isn't talking. He's just staring. Just staring.
Glad you enjoyed it. A lot of practice goes into these.
Yes, and as give me a moment. Yeah, as the pair of them are talking to you, you learn the following information. So, first of all, it's a brother and a sister. And the reason why they look like they are so well dressed is because, as it turns out, they are actually the children of a high-ranking merchant who is currently stopped over in Varpak as part of a trip down to Port Manorley. And whilst they're stopped off in Varpak for the next few days, they're staying at basically what amounts to a popular meeting place for all of the rich and wealthy members of society to go out and hang out. In fact, it's kind of a gentleman's club, but just for whoever has enough money to be able to gain admission. And you can tell that she's just completely enamored with your party, and specifically Piper, and ends up inviting the party as a whole to do a performance over at the club and meet her father, who is the owner of this trading company.
I might be able to fit that into our schedule. What do you think? I'll look over the rest of the party. Reckon we can squeeze it in?
I think we can. We can say a day or two extra. Always up for a party. I say with a twin on each arm.
Just for you, though. Don't go spreading it around. We can't stay here forever.
No.
Okay, so note down in wherever you want to note that you have been invited to, in quotation marks, an event by Tom and Molly Crannery. And I will note down that name for you.
Are you still in the notes file, Trick?
Yeah, I am. Tom and Molly Crannery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not touching it because I know if someone makes an edit in the notes file and someone else is in it and hasn't closed it yet, it deletes all of the edits they've made up to that point.
Yes, it does. So,
invited
if anybody's
to a gig by Tom and Molly Cranley at
this would be this would be at a, well, as Kiki's described, a high class establishment in Varpak where the owner of their family business is staying for the time being, and basically she's invited you to do a private performance. And during this entire conversation, Tom Crannery is just, I'll be honest, Kiki, he wants the fuck.
I mean, the best way to keep people wanting is not to give it to them, right?
Okay, you're a bard.
Indeed.
Fucking shag them. Shag the pair of them.
It doesn't work that way with women.
Look. I learned this a while ago.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
A woman's sexuality is like pasta.
It's a fucking weapon.
Straight until wet.
It's a fucking weapon.
No.
What it is.
What I'm saying,
No, you
What I'm
missed that
saying
then. A woman's sexuality is like pasta, straight until wet.
Yes.
I'm not talking about sexuality. What I'm saying is people agree that people like Heidi Klum, for example, look pretty good and are pretty desirable, right?
Hmm.
No one wants anything to do with Heidi Klum after she's been caught in bed with 15 black guys.
Yes. That is true. Once they've been blacked, once they've burnt the coal, they pay the toll. Oh no, I've said that online now. Damn it, I'm fucked. Well, I'll see you all in jail.
By the way, Jim, I've looked into it.
After the black, they ain't welcome back.
But by the way, Ginge, I've looked into it with that lucky thing.
Uh-huh.
Looks like Roll20 gets a little bit confused with Lucky and has added a Lucky box for me alongside the Lucky racial halfling ability. However, I can substitute that use of Lucky for a GM inspiration that I had from last week. From the charity gig.
And possibly this week, I would imagine you got a GM inspiration for your writing down of all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But yes, I will clear that box because it doesn't exist yet.
Righto. Yeah, I must admit, when I heard that you had the lucky feet, my first thought was, huh?
Yeah. Feet? You're a halfling? How have you got a feet yet?
Hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even question it because I've been playing humans for so long.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have a feat, right?
No.
Or unless I misheard this. Okay,
No.
good.
No, I do not have a feat. I have.
It's the lucky thing that halflings have. It's
Yeah.
Roll20.
Yeah, it's got muddled up in the character monster and it's added a box to the thing.
Fair enough.
And the resources.
Right, so
I've updated my name.
The character mancer was cheating, not Kiki. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that said, that's the concert concluded. And
I think it's a good place to leave it.
Potentially. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to cover, I will say this, Coatrack. Now is probably the right time for you to drop out, given that you were being pushed for time earlier.
No. Okay, I needed to know then, so I relayed that information. No particular need for me to disappear the second.
Ah, right. Okay then.
The information is passed on.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to roll a random performance check. That is how good I was with the twins that evening.
How fitting that you rolled the same number twice.
Give me disadvantage, I dare you.
It's not disadvantage. It's not advantage. It's one roll for each twin.
Yeah. Yes. Quite. I tell them to spread the news.
And you definitely managed to leave an impression on them. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
God, so you're going to be paying child support.
No, I'm not. They don't know my real name.
Is this like the backstory for every bard?
Yeah, literally.
Pretty much.
Why are you an adventurer? Just wanted to move on, have a new life.
Just needed to keep moving. Because the alimony's killing me.
Or it would be had I stayed more than a week.
Exactly.
Changes the conversation, changes the topic every time the cleric brings up children.
Right. Makes note. Following morning must go to nearest cleric /priest that can do healing hearts.
Hmm.
I may have caught something nasty last night. How did you do that? I'm a bard. Oh. Let me give you the works. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm a
that'll be
bard.
the bard
I
package then.
see. Let me bring out the extra pure holy water.
Uh-huh. It seems to be burning as it hits your skin. Oh, it's fine. I'm used to
Sounds right.
that.
Well, is there anything that any member of the party wants to do
What?
as of the evening, or shall we just skip through to the next day to tell you the aftermath?
I think we skip through. What I will say is, with the gold, is anybody objecting to us basically scraping 90 of that off and sticking that in the pot to round it up to a clean 100 gold for the?
I would suggest an alternative. Actually, I'd suggest taking the 62 gold and distributing that between us, and using the 200 with equal split each for the for the con.
Do 200 for the con instead of 100. Yep, okay. I mean, I'm down for that. But I don't want to spend other people's gold ahead of them. What do you say, Coat? Ez, are you up for that?
I only have
Yeah, why not?
like a 10.
Well, okay.
I mean, I can put all that up for it, but
Well, no, what we're
that's all I
saying
got.
is we've earned 269, 260, 270. What was it? 267 plus 5.
267.5. Sorry, 269.5 because of the 2 gold
Yeah.
of. Oh, hang on. Plus another 7.
Yeah. 276. So if we'll split 76 between the four of us, which comes to nearly 20 each, and then put the 200 as an equal split between the four of us into the con. So it's not going to cost you anything, but it will cost you what we earned in this evening's performance.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd still go up by 19 gold pieces.
Okay.
Got it. Adding 19 gold.
Cool. I'm going to add 19 gold, and we've got 210 in the pot for the con.
Hmm.
Cool.
So, with that said, we progress through to the next day. The night was spent with great amounts of drink flowing, great amounts of gold falling into your laps, pockets, and whatever other receptacles you may wish to use, as well as a little bit of action for the lead member of the group. That said, upon waking on the next day, I would say each of you have been able to have your own room, should you so wish. The Hogshead actually agreed to give you stay for the night on the house this time round because of the amount of additional gold was spent on the boozing of the evening.
Imagine backed by popular demand, skill of Kiki's helps on that as well.
Oh, it most certainly does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he skipped out on that the first night.
I know, right? But we are back by popular demand this time, so yeah.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
So, Trig,
right.
You obviously make your way over to a local priest. Now,
I will boot the
I'm
twins
going to
out
say-
lovingly and caringly and yep. Cheers. See you later. Mm-hmm.
They actually admit to you that they have stayed out way past their curfew and are likely going to be in trouble with their parents when they get back home.
Oh no.
Did you
But,
ask how old they were?
No, I didn't ask how old they are. This is terrifying. Am I now welcome at Epstein's Island?
You're reasonably confident that if that was an issue, somebody would have pointed it out to you.
Okay.
This week on Dateline D&D.
A bard shags 2 teenagers. Again.
Use the excuse, but they were taller than me. Despite being
I'm gonna hell. I'm going to hell. It's as simple as that.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe. Most likely.
Right, okay.
So, Trig, go ahead and roll me a religion check.
A religion check?
Yes.
Oh dear God.
And I would say, given the circumstances, you can have advantage on this.
Okay. I'll take the first roll.
Making strong use of that advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you are making your way out and about in the city and during the early hours of the morning, trying to ensure that nobody spots you slipping out at this opportune time for privacy, you realize that you remember something about some kind of god of partying that you should probably try to locate. Don't remember the exact details though. What are you going to try and do with that information?
This is literally me leaving the hotel room. Yeah. I'm gonna stop at any bypasser in the street and ask them if they know of any healing priests and perhaps a priest of Bacchus or something along those lines that might be nearby. And give them a sly grin whilst I, cowboy walk.
The man that you walk up to and and consult with, he looks at you. He's a dwarven fellow, so he's not too much taller than you, and as he bends over slightly to get a proper assessment of your figure, he looks you up and down, and he spots your overall attire, the nature of your current state of being, and he says, "You're a bard, ain't you?"
Is it the loot that gave it away?
No, it was the smell.
Oh.
Damn.
Right. Well, you're looking for a for a priest to give you all once over. Sounds like you'd be wanting to find a church to a Nagi.
A Nagi? Sounds good.
Aye. You wanna continue down the road that way and take a right once you get to the old bakery and Inagi's temple. It's nothing to write home about, but they'll see to you down that way. Don't you worry.
Much obliged. I offer him my hand to shake.
He looks at it for a moment and says, "Have you washed that yet?"
Of course I've washed it this morning. Look, it was only twins. I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough. Point taken.
He tips his hat to you and wishes you the best of luck before carrying along his way.
Uh-huh. Thank you
He
kindly,
doesn't
sir.
touch you. It doesn't take you long to be able to find your way over to the Temple of Anagi. It's a relatively out of the way spot in a relatively secluded looking square of sorts. It almost looks as though this particular location was once a residential building that has since then been converted into new format. And as you make your way over to the decidedly domestic looking door, you knock on it, and you hear a response of a man who calls out and says, "Hello, what is it?"
Morning. Just need to make sure that I'm in good shape, shall we say? Looking like maybe need a healing priest. Nothing serious. I hope. Just
Well, sounds like you've come to the right place. You hear as the voice gets closer to the door as it opens up, and you see there's a rather muscular looking man with a set of priestly robes that look as though they imply modesty whilst not leaving a whole lot to the imagination. And you see as he welcomes you into the interior of the building and says, "I can see that you're one of the. I can see that you're one of the performance type. I heard that there was a bit of a show going on down that way, but I'm going to guess that was somewhat to do with you."
yeah, we had a rocking gig, man. It was awesome. We played the absolute pants off the Hogshead, and we're going to continue to play the absolute pants off anywhere we play whilst we're here. We're going to do a big gig. It's going to be huge. Huge. Some might say it will be the best gig you've ever heard, but I don't like to brag, but some might say that. We had a great gig last night. And kind of, what should I say? There was a couple of lasses wanted to show their appreciation to how well we played last night, and I was the humble recipient of their adulation.
Lots of smiling, lots of happy faces, and a good time all around. Sounds like a fine night to me. A Nagi would be pleased.
Indeed, he would have had a. In fact, I think in some small manner he was there himself, enjoying the show.
Do you know about the Lord of Celebrations?
I feel I should know more. To be honest, I really do, because that is how we live our life, is in celebration of life, the wonder of life, the tale of the gods of creation, exploration, and the wonders of exploring this world, and all of the many wonders that it has for us, and all of the women.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You could be a priest for all I know.
Maybe I am.
As
maybe I am. I don't know it,
this,
and I yeah, grin.
As you're having this conversation, he's leading you through this, admittedly somewhat more temple-like looking architectures on the interior of this space. As you make your way through to an enclosed courtyard of sorts. There's a roof over the top of it, which appears to be a glass and steel kind of scenario to keep the rain off, but in the center of which there's this delightful, naturally lit garden-like experience. That in the center of which there's this pillow-filled depression in the ground with a variety of scantily clad women and men, all in various states of activity, most of which is very obviously post-celebration. And you get the impression that this is approaching whorehouse, but not quite.
I have a grin on my face and go, this place feels like home.
There's it look okay. You, as a bard of your particular character, know that places like this come with a stench, but that stench is not present here.
Okay.
So it feels as though, like, you can see that everybody is clearly in a state of euphoria to some extent, but you get the impression that perhaps nothing. You could maybe have a kid in the room.
Right, doesn't quite smell of Grimsby Docks.
What do you mean by have a kid in the room?
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
No. All right, okay, that could be taken even worse than I meant it. Okay, I meant like get pregnant.
Let's just put it this way. Epstein would be disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Thank God, good.
Yeah.
That's not the joke I was making.
Yeah. That's Anargi. As you are brought through this area, you get the impression that Anargi is this temple is it's like a spa of sorts. And people go there to have massages, eat good food, converse with people in a light-hearted manner. There's wine. There's fresh fruit and vegetables. There's a cookout that occurs on a semi-regular basis. It's just, generally speaking, it's a pleasant atmosphere where people go to be happy, be relaxed, and if necessary, if the time takes it, if it's appropriate, be given a private room to have private relations.
A place of both joviality and cleansing.
Exactly. It's, you get the distinct impression that Anagi is less whorehouse, more a place where everybody can experience the height of joy to their own personal definition of what that might be. They cater for everyone.
Lovely.
But yes,
almost
with that said,
wholesome, but not quite.
Exactly. Almost wholesome.
But not.
But not.
But not quite. But yes, yeah. Once you have staged your welcome there, you are blessed by the priest, and in doing so, you get the impression that when you go to this area of cleansing, where an attendant goes about and goes through the process of scrubbing you down and making sure that you are in full top-notch condition to continue on with your life, you get the distinct impression that there is some divine entity looking down on you during this whole experience and smiling in the process. And by the end of it, you get the impression that Anagi is a god that very much appreciates what you did the night previous.
Fantastic.
Less so the whoring, and more so making sure that everybody who was there absolutely rocked their hearts out.
Absolutely. 26 for each. How many gold am I gonna is appropriate to drop in the coffers for this place?
Well, they offer that what they tell you is they offer you a bowl, a donation bowl, and they simply say, clearly you are a man who appreciates the tenets of Anagi. If
I'm gonna
you
drop out
agree
now.
with
I'll
what,
talk to you guys later. Just put a message if there's anything important that I need to note down later. See ya.
Take
right,
it easy, dude.
thanks
Have
for letting
fun.
us know, Kurt.
Ye-
Bye bye. Yes, they hand you a donation bowl and they simply say, pay us what you think we're worth.
Fair enough. In that case, I'm just gonna round out my gold to some even numbers, and I've dropped 4 silver pieces and 8 gold pieces in the coffers, leaving me with just a simple, straightforward 9.
Very good, very good. But
Expensive night.
you are this is greatly appreciated for your generosity, and when you leave, you step out into the outside world and you take a deep breath and you feel the sweetness of the morning air hit your lungs, and you are energized and
Do they
ready
have
to go for the
Do they
rest.
have a symbol of Inagi in some way that I could take with me as maybe put as a logo on my lute/guitar thing?
If you ask, you are given a pendant, and the pendant is it's a wine cask with not cask, a wine decanter with a set of grapes on the vine, kind of rotated around this, if you will.
How do I spell the name of this god?
En. That actually, you know what? I'll just type it out for you.
This was Gruce's god, wasn't it, as well?
This was Gruce's god, yes.
Yeah, I
Except
remember.
I don't believe Gruce ever visited an establishment from Anagi.
He did not. Well, not that we know of.
Yeah, not within us, not in a in an actual
In an episode.
in an actual episode.
Yeah. We only got to one major city, and then then we did the spin-off, and we never really saw Gruce again, sadly. It's a shame. He was a fun character.
You know, it doesn't really surprise me all that much that out of the 2 characters that you've made in my campaigns, both of them have followed the tenets of Anagi very closely.
Well, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a drink and a bit of fun every now.
Well, go ahead and note onto your character sheet that for the next 8 hours, you are under the effect of blessings of Inagi.
Where did you post this? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I will.
And assuming I haven't written this down anywhere, the effects of the blessings of Inagi are that you are immune to pregnancy and disease.
I can't get pregnant.
Indeed.
Fantastic.
Now,
Does that mean
what?
Okay.
It is worth bearing in mind
Mm-hmm.
that technically means that parasitic insects cannot lay their eggs in you either.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's not without use for males either.
Fair enough.
But that said, I imagine at some point the rest of the party wake up and see an energized halfling bard make their way into the Hogshead, or as the rest of you have already made your way to a state of wakefulness.
Morning, bitches.
So what did you
Kiki and
catch
Ez.
this time?
Nothing. It's been sorted. Nice god, actually. Inagi seems fun. My draw is look. They gave me a pendant. I might draw the this on my loot. It's kind of it seems to be the god of getting pissed and having sex.
You're always doing this. You go into a backwater town and you find some cult and you just sign straight up because they like sleeping with each other.
Well, as long as it doesn't cost me anything much, it seems like fun at the time, and that was fun. You should go there. You know what? The place had the feel of an orgy that was happening, but didn't smell like one. I could go and spend a day there and just, work on the smell. But in all seriousness, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Did you meet the twins? I can't remember their names. The twins. What were their names? Ah, sod it. It's all right. There'll be more. I noticed you were knocking out with a brother and sister thing going off there, Piper. What was that about?
Oh, well, what they want and what they get isn't always the same thing, is it?
Apparently not. Am I the only one here that's a fully functioning human being around here, or halfling around here?
Look, we want to be famous, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can be famous for more than one thing.
I'm just a little concerned that if I get famous and people know I get up to that with just about anyone, they're not going to think the same of me.
Bobby fucking Plant Twin Slayer. That's what they're going to call me. Until I find another nickname for myself.
So, is there anything else that you guys would like to cover in this session? Because otherwise, I would like to bring it to a close and give you some information that you could use to prepare for the next session.
I think that's a good idea. The only thing I was going to suggest doing was running some money over to our friends in the iffy pawn shop. But you know what? Let's hear the information. We can always do that at the beginning of the next session.
Right. The next session is going to be the heist. So, you are going to be given, at the beginning of the next session, you are going to be given information that you will need and information that will be, at the very least, useful to you for the purposes of pulling off whatever scam it is that you're planning to make. And with that information, if you are successful in your endeavors, you could potentially make yourselves enemies of the state. You could potentially make yourselves heroes. At least to some extent.
Okay.
That said, I would like to start the next session extra early so that we have sufficient time to get through everything.
Okay.
I'm expecting it to be quite dense.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We are still recording at the moment, but let me know when we've ended the session, and I will put an end to the session. I feel like that moment is coming up soon.
Yes. So unless anybody present has anything that they want to cover as part of this session, I'm happy to end it here.
Fantastic.
So speak now or forever hold your peace.
I think we're good.
Right, so. Well, another grand concert has been achieved with a fairly decent amount of wealth being thrown towards the party. They are beginning to make names for themselves. Earth, Wind, and Shire is now known as an effective band in 2 nations, as well as 2 different cities. Well, a city and a tiny little hamlet off in the corner of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening, everybody. Trig, if you'd like to sign us out.
I will indeed sign us out. In fact, I will do that by playing The Void.
Ah, excellent.
Fast, god of water, breathe and night. In the depths he claims his might. An entity of darkness, void and deep, where secrets hide and shadows creep. Greed and jealousy his domain. Entering his grasp, all is clay. Tunneling this god of the deep, in your void we secrets keep. Master of the waves, and dark in your depths we leave our mark. Delusive as a void, a whirlpool's might. In the endless water, no end in sight. Fear to the victim, lest he be near. In the darkness we feel his leer. From the raging waves to the silent deep, Charybdis power makes mortals weep. In every shadow his presence felt. In every fear his powers doubt. Charybdis, god of the deep, in your void we secrets keep. Master of the waves, and dark in your depths we leave our mark. With a force that pulls all in, truly this realm, darkness wins. In the waters of grace, his power lies. In the depth no soul can rise.
Yep,